Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What is up, Panther fans? Welcome back to the C3 Panthers Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. The Carolina Panthers coming off a tough loss against the Arizona Cardinals, one that left Panther fans wondering, is this season over already? A lot of people on the post-game show were calling for Matt Rhule's head, and we've got a ton to reflect upon about the trajectory of this team, where they need to go. Will Matt Rhule make it? And how will they fare against the San Francisco 49ers tonight? We got a tremendous show for you. Tonight's show is Baker Mayfield bottoms as Jimmy G strikes gold as 49ers starter. The Carolina Panthers, it's been yuck, yuck, yuck. Bottom barrel Baker has been awful. Matt Rhule has continued to be a fool, and the San Francisco 49ers beat that tail last night on Monday Night Football. We've got it all to talk about with you, but also with my wheelman, Cody Lashney. How you doing, my friend?
Tony Dunn, this team is disgusting. I wouldn't let them kiss my mother on the cheek. It's that bad. Listen, man, I hate that we're seemingly in this position every year where we start out excited like every other fan base of every other NFL team. And here we are, dude. People are already talking about CJ Stroud and Bryce Young and Will Levis. Man, it's tough times, man. But you know what? Tougher people make it through tougher times. And I'll be damned if that's not us, Tony Dunn. And you know what? We're going to do it with the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. You already know them and love them. It's a man, Drew, Algernon Ramsure, Big Al, what's up? ATX19, Chad Mortensen, Devin White, Elizabeth Lasser, James Island Panther, Jay Prey, Joshua Hall, Just Don't Care, Moneybags Lawson, Panther Pickle, Padawan Panther, Y Bid Jordan, Underground West, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. We welcome you into the conversation. It's a show by fans for fans. We are not expert football people, but we like our football. But we're expert football fans, and you can be a part of that conversation. And another guy, the man with the golden pipes, who's always part of that conversation, CK, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing as well as can be expected, and you know, one of the things that I think we've done after each one of the losses so far this season, at least myself, is try to take the next few days to reflect and watch the game, watch the film, see if there's anything, and you know, there's usually, you know, listen, there's some optimism after a loss, right? And so after watching that game, I've got to say, it still fucking sucks. It's still garbage, and we are still horrible. Oh my God, dude. I just can't. I don't know what else to do. Like, I can sit here and cheer for this game. I mean, this team. I can cheer every single day. I can cheer every single week. But it just seems like we continue to get worse. We just are spinning our wheels, and it is so irritating as a Panthers fan to put so much into an actual, like, into your team and be happy with them and like try to cheer them on every year, to constantly be let down year over year. It is exhausting. I'm ready for this thing to be burnt down and just let's start from scratch. Like, I'm just ready for it at this point. We saw what happened last year when we were in the playoffs, and I think we got a bit jaded, right? We were like, we just need a quarterback and it fixes everything. We need everything, guys. Like, we've maybe got an offensive line. That's it, potentially. there is nothing out. Like, you can talk about the defense, there's no veterans, right? When you look at the mistakes that are happening, you can blame the offense, but the reality is there's still mistakes being made on the defense by our cornerbacks. We have no linebackers that you can look at as saying is like, these are world beater linebackers. These are not Panthers level wide linebackers that we're accustomed to having. We just needed this. We need to do something else. It's not worked. And the idea that we're going to be patient with this insanity is absolutely fucking asinine.
You know, Monday was a dark day for a lot of Panther fans. Sunday kind of just bludgeoned to death in a certain way. Monday, for me, where it was at, it was cold and rainy, and you were dealing with that incredibly difficult loss to the Arizona Cardinals. And, you know, in a single game, if you look at that schedule before the season, you could say, hey, that might be a loss, right? You could see that not being ridiculous. But the fact of the matter is that the Carolina Panthers team has just started so poorly, specifically the offense, and that has just lessened the confidence, or if there was any confidence, it's just dampened any hope that people had with Matt Rhule. And the fact that Ben McAdoo has been the worst offensive coordinator arguably in Panthers history at this point, at the rate that this offense is going, is insane. So
I have a take later on about Ben McAdoo, and we'll get to it.
We need you guys
complex offense that seems to be super complex and so complex, like that it's going to take years.
It's
for
so
a quarterback
basic.
to learn.
It's not even complex. What's complex about it?
It's funny how a lot of the same things we're saying about Ben McAdoo, we said the same thing about Joe Brady.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's almost like if you're an offensive coordinator and you have a quarterback that cannot make the throws to the open players, your offensive coordinator is going to look dumb by comparison. Now, I think that we should be running the ball a lot more than we are. That goes without saying. But the Panthers have never and cannot fix this quarterback position. So no matter what offensive coordinator you get in here, they're going to look like shit unless they're running the ball 70% of the time. I don't know, man. I think everyone's in a lose-lose situation with this quarterback that I frankly believe our head coach has shackled us with.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is right now, Joe Brady's been a better offensive coordinator than Ben McAdoo.
God, could you imagine us saying that? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot to talk about. We need y'all to be a part of the show. Smash the thumbs up button. Don't forget, we're on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher. There's an audio version of the podcast syndicated if you can't hang out and watch the YouTube all the time. And we also welcome people to join the C3 Superfans. You can find the join button right beside the subscribe. And for $1.99 a month, you can be just kind of continue to help build this podcast as we are growing. In fact, our community is growing so much. Our post-game show, Cody, was over 520 people live viewers, the biggest shows we've ever done. We've already crested 4,000 views on YouTube since just Sunday, and got over 400 likes. So the community's been growing. And let me tell you how much this is growing. We have a fan, and this is the second time this year someone has reached out to us. This is not a giveaway by us by any means, but we have one of our community members wants to gift a pair of tickets to the Thursday night football game for the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. And he wants to make sure that they go to a Carolina Panther fan who is a friend of C3 and also can attend the game. So these are not giveaways. And so what he's going to do, he reached out to me, I think yesterday, I think it was this morning. And we were going to try to arrange it for tonight for some random, he's going to select a random person. He's in the chat. He's not in the chat now. He's got to work, I think, and go to bed. But I think what we're going to do is the game is on November 10th. So what I want to do is I want him to, he's going to select somebody at random in the chat next week or during the show. Maybe not just from the chat, but random during the show. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a post up on YouTube right now. And it's just a verbal post. There's no picture, no nothing. It's just like a little post. And it says this: if someone gave you tickets, could you attend the Atlanta Falcons at Carolina Panthers Thursday night football game on November 10th? Leave your Twitter handle in the comments. And if you don't have Twitter, you can message us in Discord. So I just got to grab the Discord link, use the hashtag C3 in Discord. And what I'll do is I'll pass those names along to, and actually I'm going to tell you, John Matienzo is going to help. So this is a fan who's just trying to, and congratulations to him getting married and upgrading his tickets, expanding his party. Poor guy. That's a fan for you. Going to the Carolina Panthers, spending more, and giving away tickets to another fan of C3. You got to love that. So go and find that post. Make sure that you follow the names and instructions so we can just identify people who can actually attend. Not a contest. Not a contest. All right, let's get in the show. What the hell? What do we got to talk about first?
Oh man, well, what don't we have to talk about? There's always
Baker bottom. Look at this little look. What is that picture that's been floating around?
Oh, it's just a little tiny baby Baker Mayfield, don't you know? I mean, yeah. I mean, doesn't that feel right? Doesn't that feel like that size of Baker Mayfield? You know, he has so many batted passes. I was gonna call the show. Baker has more batted balls than a girls' volleyball game. But this was a better one. And yeah, so look, let's just go ahead and jump into the show today. Matt Rhule gave a press conference.
He was bludgeoned, Cody. He was bludgeoned with questions right out the gate about his job security. And hot take, bad take. I feel like Matt Rhule has actually been handling this pretty well in the press conferences the last couple of weeks, even this past week when he's asked these questions. And on top of that, I don't think it's Matt Rhule that's been the central problem with our team. I think that maybe he's a systemic problem that is just associated with all the problems. But I got other guys on my list of names here. But Cody, right out the gate, he was asked about his job security by Sheena Quick, by Joe Person, 3 reporters back to back asked him how he felt about his job, had he talked with David Tepper, and what he thought about this team as they were just falling apart.
They also talked about the college positions that have opened up and his thoughts on those positions and potentially going back
and he was quick to shut that down. He didn't want to hear anything about it. He said he's the coach of the Carolina Panthers, which, again, that respect, but it's what you're supposed to say. And at this point, I'm not going to give the man credit for what he's supposed to say. You can say all the right things, but at the end of the day, your coaching is not up to snuff, and it's obvious to everyone. And to his credit, he has said that. But again, that's kind of what you have to say. I think that when you're in a position like Matt Rhule, truly, I don't think he knows what to do. I mean, I think that when you hear him talk about the brand and what this Panthers team is and what they're supposed to be about, they very much believe in doing things a certain way, and they do not seem like they're the type of team that likes to change very much, especially with Matt Rhule as the leader. So I think they have this perpetual belief that, man, if we just keep pushing and pushing and grinding and trying to get better and better, that we're going to somehow, overcome this slump that we've already found ourselves in to start the season. And everyone knows that it's BS. It's not going to happen. He was quoted as saying, as you see right there, our team will respond. We always do. We're 5-11 coming off of a loss. It's absolutely abysmal.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things that I find a bit irritating is this thought that we're constantly getting. like, well, every week we got to get better. We got to get better every week. Here's the thing. They're in a vacuum. It's like they believe that the rest of the league isn't going to continue to get better either. Right? Like, we've got to get better. Guess what?
Right.
You've got to be better. Like, you can't get better. It's not about getting better. It's about, we need to play as professionals at this point, right? But at this point in time, it hasn't worked. Everybody has gotten exponentially better besides us, and pretty much every facet. Like, our defense is doing similar things that it did last year, right? It wasn't able to. It falters in the third and fourth quarter because of how much time they're spending on the field, because the offense can't do anything, right? It's becoming just a pattern at this point. The only benefit we have this year, if there's anything to take its comfort from this, is we didn't start 3-0, which helps our draft position moving forward.
Yeah, and probably gets us out of the Matt Rhule era in a way, right? Instead of somehow eking this out. But here's what I listened to I read the tweets first, the quote. He said, "I believe in our coaching staff. I believe in us." You know what I'm saying? Like, I have confidence. He was saying this is like, are you worried about losing your job? So, right, he comes out and he says, I have confidence in myself. I have confidence in this staff. I have confidence in this team. And we're going to respond as we always do. He misspoke. It's like it's such a good soundbite. Like, it was such a good tweet grab by somebody. But I almost feel a little bad for him as like, like if he had time to write his words out, I don't think he would have said like we always do, because I read that tweet and I was like, bro, you won 5 games twice. Like, what do you mean? You ain't responded at all.
Or,
but
he's just that delusional in thinking that they do respond, that the guys that he sees in training camp,
just coach speak.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's all just this useless drivel,
He's a fool, and don't I know it?
He's a fool. He's an absolute fool. And by the way, Panther Pickle put this in my chat, and I have to continue to go down on this man.
What?
Yeah, that sounded fucking terrible.
Panther Pickle.
That's good news, people.
No, but dude, the fucking ping pong table. There was another interview. And I forget who they were talking to. It was Brian Burns. And dude, you hear that fucking ping pong table just going back and forth in the back room, dude. And it's like, get that shit the fuck out of our locker room, man. Why are you playing so much ping pong when this team sucks a big one, dude? No pause. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get paid to... I know it's not an asshole here, but it's like, dude, you don't get paid to play ping pong. You don't win enough football games, but yet, you're all palling around, clowning around in the fucking locker room. Dude, it's so dumb, man. And I do think that it's a culture thing. I think that everybody's too chillax. And I think that probably all those players in the locker room know that Matt Rhule is on borrowed time. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost like every time I hear the stupid fucking ping pong table, it's like I'm reminded of how much they just don't give a shit about what the fuck is going on around them. Because, dude, let me tell you what, if that was me on that team, I wouldn't be playing fucking ping pong, bro. That's a promise. God, I can't stand it, dude.
I feel like that's a bit of an interesting take. I know you've had that before.
It's a great take, though. It's a symbolic take. Like, it's meaningless in one way. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing is, am I wrong in this? Is like, one of the things that we talk about with Matt Rhule is he treats these kids like college kids, right? He's super strict. This is how we do it. This is how, like, that's what he wanted. And we know that these players are adults, right? And so I think I think the biggest problem is they have the ping pong table just out there in the open for people to hear it, right? Because I guarantee you, even the worst teams in the NFL probably have something similar. It may just not be as audible. right? I don't think.
Well, it's in the locker room though,
Right.
and they're doing the interviews.
Right.
That
That would be the part that I would agree with. Like, get that out of the locker room and put it in a different room. But the idea of getting rid of it entirely, it's
why should have it at all? No, I mean, honestly speaking, why should they have a ping pong table? Why should they get to have one?
So here's my question.
Really?
Here's my question. Yeah. Who's been playing ping pong, Cody?
Obviously, everyone in the locker room. Every time they're doing interviews, you hear this shit in the background.
Who are you blaming for the losses?
Well, I blame our players losing on the field because of our coaching staff, which is terrible. But either way, why are they playing ping pong? Like, why? What did they do? For what? Why do they deserve?
I would rather them be playing ping pong than going. I'd rather them be playing ping pong than going and playing Call of Duty while in the back or going home and not having that that team building stuff. Like, that's a part of that. If you don't have that, then you're not building a team either, right?
Yeah,
there's part of it that goes into
football, though. Every moment in that building should be dedicated to getting better at football. And it's just so, like, whatever you do at home, do that at home. Fine. But, dude, when you're at the building coming off of these terrible losses, it's off the fucking ping pong table, man. It's ridiculous. I would burn that. I would take that table and I would burn the motherfucker in front of the whole team and all the coaches. Like, no one's playing games until we win the game that we're paid to play.
Love it. Love it. All right. So we're reflecting on the game from this past week. We have had 2 days removed. And really, I think, and this is where I'm kind of coming back to, like I heard, I listened to Matt Rhule's press conference this afternoon, yesterday's press conference this afternoon. And look, it's easy to pile on him, and it should be. He deserves, that's where, but even not just people like us, but now the radio stations are coming out. There's the local
National
radio
media.
station. Yeah, it's the local radio station in Greenville, who nobody listens, a different one. They have one show a week they do, and they're pre-recording these bits we'll recap the Panthers' probable loss and will Matt it's just everybody is smashing this dude from the Raleigh to little towns, and you even saw the Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless went nutso. This was fun.
Even Cody's going down on him.
I just can't stop.
That's the biggest compliment Matt Rhule's gotten. That's the only thing that's been that anyone's done for Matt Rhule this whole time is Cody going down on him.
How stupid.
Yeah. But so they were. I mean, he is. They're getting dumped on organizationally. Baker, all of this. I went back and watched the game too, again, and I thought CK brought up some good points in the post game show. Is that Baker was in that first quarter wasn't horrendous. It wasn't.
He was
helped.
Actually pretty good in the first
quarter.
Yeah,
it wasn't helped out by a couple. It seems like this, and this is where I thought Matt Rhule's press conference was right. Is they're just not winning on third down. And in the past, someone asked him, "Is that because?" Oh, it was Skylar. Is that what it is? Skylar Callahan.
Yeah, Callahan.
Yeah, I always miss.
I think it's Shulahan. Or actually, no. His name is Schuler because you would think that it's Skylar, but it actually is Schuler.
It's Skylar, and I called him Schuler, and it's Skylar. Yeah,
because I remember he corrected you, but I thought it was the other way around.
Skylar Callahan, but he asked him, "Is this because you're not performing on first and second downs?" And I thought Matt Rhule had again kind of an honest answer here. He just said, in the past weeks, I would have said that, but no, we had 3rd and 5, 3rd and 1, 4 and 1, 4 and 1. So we're just not extending drives. And that has been the real story of this Panthers offense. And while I know we can single out Baker, the batted balls, crazy, 9 in this past game. On top of that, you can single out player. You could say, oh, he's missed on passes, which is true. He's missed on a lot of passes. You could say that players have dropped them. It's just nothing has gone right at all. You know, like when he throws a good pass, they drop it. When he throws a bum pass or whatever, when they have the right call, it gets batted. So, like, nothing has gone well for this offense. And Matt Rhule's right. Is like, if you can't extend a drive past 3 downs, how the hell are you going to compete in this world, in this game? And that's just been the problem. This offense has been atrocious. Atrocious. And I don't know if you can, how you get it jump started. Cody, is Sam Darnold an option?
Dude, it's incredible to me how far or how fast we've already gotten to this. That we're already hoping that Sam Darnold, of all fucking people, is going to be able to come in and help this offense in any kind of meaningful way. I mean, look, I never thought that either of these two dudes were the answer. But I'll tell you what, Baker Mayfield is playing like one of the very worst quarterbacks in all of the NFL. I mean, listen, we were hoping that finally DJ Moore might have someone that he can actually use to take his talents to the next level. Although, except, you know what? That isn't going to happen either. Because as it turns out, DJ Moore ranks 67th of 73 wide receivers in catchable targets, 62.1% amongst receivers with at least 15 targets. However, Moore's average depth of target, 7.4 yards, is much lower than the 6 wide receivers with worse catchable target rates. He has dealt with the worst quarterback play of any single wide receiver so far. And listen, everyone wanted to get mad at me when I brought up Odell Beckham because, Odell is a D. Odell ruins the team. Well, he also showed something very revealing, and that Baker Mayfield is never good at getting the ball to his number 1 wide receiver. In fact, I think you all have noticed, look how many times Baker Mayfield targets our tight ends. Whether it be Ian Thomas or Trimble or Sullivan, he's throwing the tight ends all the time. Because this little guy does not trust himself to put the ball in the hands of his number 1 wide receiver. So he's going to continue to take these layup passes, these underneath passes that he's not even guaranteed to hit, mind you. I've never seen someone overthrow a receiver in the flat as many times as I've seen Baker Mayfield do it. And this is going to continue to go downhill for the wide receiver that we just paid this big contract to. It's like, why? Now Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore are going to waste on an offense that doesn't even know how to utilize them because they can't. It's embarrassing.
You can't handle the truth.
Amen.
We really can't.
I know Baker. Look, Baker has been pathetic.
Trash.
He has been awful.
And
he has been worse than what you could have even forecasted, Cody. The downest of down people, the worst of worst Browns fans. They say, I hate anytime someone gets in the comments and says, oh, what'd y'all think you were going to get with Baker? I would have said at least, shut up. You know,
Here's the thing.
This is the worst.
We were overpromised by Cody. Even Cody was overpromising what Baker could do. Like, he was down on him, but nobody was this down on him.
Because I didn't think our coaches would do a pass-first offense. I thought they were going to run the ball and do some play-action shots.
I told you Ben McAdoo don't like to run.
Even when you hear the product that's sold to us from the Browns fans, none of them are saying, like, he is god-awful every time. They're saying, like, he'll have 2 good games and then have, like, the shittiest game on the planet, and then he'll have an average game, and then he'll have a bad game, and then he's so inconsistent. This isn't inconsistent. This is non-existence.
Yeah.
Right?
It's you're starting to wonder if he's lost, like. Now the question is this: will Baker even have any be able ever play in the NFL at this rate? Again?
I don't even see what I've seen so far. And again, the devil's advocate here is there is a multitude of failures on this offense. And if we go back and we look at the first half, Baker looked actually pretty good. He was sharp. Like all of his drops for the first half were like all of his passes were drops, right? He wasn't throwing the ball down the field. He was getting the ball maybe 10 yards up the field. Like he wasn't doing deep shots. He did have that one
Ian Thomas dropping. Like, I mean,
that fourth quarter, that second half was god awful when we thought like, oh man, he's going to be able to, like, that's when you think Baker was going to turn it on, because we saw like week one when it came to the fourth quarter, he was like, he was like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to let it phase me. We're going to come out here and do the right things, right? And yeah, he had one good drive, which, by the way, we've got to talk about his post-game press conference because it is a topic of conversation. Do we have that on the agenda today?
We do not have the audio. Cody, I'm sure we'll be able to. We pulled up some of it on the post game itself, but you're right. As you're going back and you're wondering, and I think it comes back to the question of like the boos and how he responded to that. I tend not to get overly upset about those. I don't think he necessarily has an attitude problem, but
I think he does. I think he does, Tony. Did you watch his entire post game press conference?
The entire one? No, we were doing no, I think I watched
today and rewatched it. Okay. And he goes, I'm not going to let you guys sit here and pile on us.
Right.
And then he goes, at one point he said, it's just me and the guys in that locker room in there. If we're winning, it's still just us in the locker room. You know, and like the way he was saying it. You don't think
that's like missing to like, isn't that kind of it's you guys, it's a team, it's y'all. Okay.
It's his defensive nature, I think. And that's like, when I watched that press conference and I became like, normally I was watching his press conferences and I'm like, all right, I like this guy, right? This time it felt like he came out a little bit too defensive. And again, I agree. I think there was a failure across the board. And I said that publicly in the post game and everything, but your quarterback shouldn't say that. He shouldn't say that it's the entire team being bad on your offense. Like it's everybody on the. He basically made that. Yeah, he said everybody needs to. He said everybody needs to improve. When they were asking specifically about his play, saying how much do you think your play impacted this, he was like, I think everybody needs to improve, or something like that. It was something very similar to that.
We need to get that exact.
He's a snot-nosed brat. That's what he is. And the showboating and the letting it hang, all that shit is only cool if you're winning. But if you're not, if you're a big ass loser. Oh, dude, you sound like a little punk. And again, it goes back to what I said about Robbie Anderson. Don't tell us how to fan when you're out there shitting the bed all the time. Because you know what? We were fans before Baker Mayfield and Robbie Anderson. And we're going to be fans long after these two are not Panthers anymore.
Well, so to be fair, he didn't tell us how to be fans. He was very defensive is what I'm saying. Like the way that he went about.
Reporters,
I didn't think it was that bad.
Is it not the job of the reporters to ask tough questions? Like when every one of your passes is batted at the line of scrimmage, for them to ask, hey, is your play, do you think your play contributed to the loss today? And the first thing that you say is everyone has to be better? Like, oh, dude, maybe fucking you need to be better. It's embarrassing, man. He is an embarrassment. I don't like him. I don't like Robbie Anderson. I'm not going to hide my feelings about him anymore. I have zero faith in these dudes. And I'm ready shit to be over, man.
Well, I'm also, I think I'm of the mind too, is I'm over. I know when we had Cam here, we loved that, right? We loved the dab on him and all that stuff. It was a great time, right? And I loved that, right? But we were also the villain of the NFL. Right, nobody liked the Panthers because of Cam Newton. And there's probably other things that were a part of it too. Let's also
the whole world loved Cam secretly. Right. Like he started trends. He made dab. He made the dab. He took that little Atlanta group and took them to the stratosphere.
Right. My point being is like when you look at the entirety of the NFL, the majority of the NFL hated Cam Newton in 2015. The majority of the people, because everybody who was fans of the other team were writing open letters to the NFL like, this is stupid, right? Everybody was. The other team was getting mad, hitting the ball out of his hands when he was trying to do shit. Like our own Julius Peppers got salty with him, all right? So that happened. And then we get Baker and we like his attitude. But when you really look at his history, the dude's a villain as well. Like, you want to talk about him being an underdog, sure. But the dude is a villain, right? When you look at how he plants the flag in Ohio, right? He does it's just, there's so much that he has done. Like the what did he do? The
nut grab.
Yeah.
There was the nut grab. There's that,
right.
But I think you're over. I don't know why he has embedded himself in the culture so much. I don't know what about his personality. I don't think he's that controversial at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's like
it's not
like Antonio Brown today pulling his D out in Dubai and then going on to and then trying to smash on Giselle. Like, I mean, I know it's somewhat brash. I know maybe it can come off as cocky and arrogant, but it's like not really that bad. Like what he said today, that in that press conference, could he have said something a little bit better? Could he have fallen on the sword like Cam used to always do?
Well, he's done that a few times as well. Like it's also.
I just didn't think it was that terrible. He's playing so shitty. He's playing so shitty. I just don't even know what he could possibly do that would be right other than play better.
I'm ready for that quarterback that is like loved, right? I just want I want to have the Justin Herbert. I want to have the Josh Allen.
It's only when they're winning, dude.
Right.
Let's go to this. I do want to, before we move on to that, is you do know though that his brashness, his comments even drew the ire of Stephen A. Smith this week, who went to school in Winston-Salem. He started calling out all the schools in North Carolina, or some town. He was like, Burlington, rise up. Raleigh, rise up. Durham, rise up. He was going through all the names. So look, Baker Mayfield is one of those polarizing characters like Donald Trump, like a Cam Newton, like a Barack Obama in some ways. He's just been god awful. I want to go back to that question though about Sam Darnold real quick. Can we bring up that Sam Darnold tweet right there? Single question I got for you: is Sam Darnold really not? Is this like that? He said, "Look, he's not ready to go. He's eligible. He's been down there supposedly, like listening to the calls and things." But Matt Rhule said, "Nah, not this week, and maybe next week." Is Sam Darnold? Do you really believe he's too hurt to play and he's not ready? I don't think so. I think this is his look is that the Panthers have committed this to Baker Mayfield. They brought him in. They did the farcical competition. They picked him. They shouldn't have done any of that. They knew they were going with him. They bet the farm on him, just like they bet the farm last year on Sam Darnold. I think putting in Sam Darnold is an admission of just complete an abject failure, period. And they probably know that they can't win enough games with either one of them to save their jobs, let alone with Sam Darnold if they admit to that guilt. Do you believe Sam Darnold is too hurt to play, or do you believe that this team is still trying to kind of throw some cover, deflect on their maybe what a decision they are regret, buyer's remorse?
I think he's too hurt to play. I mean, he got carted out. Like people forget that. Like he didn't just walk off the field under his he couldn't put any pressure on his ankle. Like I really do believe that he's pretty far out from being able to play. I think I don't think he's healthy.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that they would lie about it, but I do think that if he was healthy, I don't think they would be actually in consideration to take him out. I mean, I think that they're telling the truth, but I also think that they have no desire to play Sam Darnold.
Right.
And again, it's like this is 2 years in a row that they made a big bet on a high drafted quarterback that they thought they could turn around and turn him into something fantastic because it was drafted high. It's a high upside, and you're not paying anything for him.
Yeah.
So the risk is relatively low, dude. And it shows you that it's a David Tepper move, because that's how David Tepper made millions, bought up devalued assets and wait for them to bounce back big. I
Hey,
mean, that's
Oh, good, man.
can I
that's
tell you
literally
something?
David Tepper's playbook. So,
Can I tell you
I,
something that's going to get you erect, Cody? We don't have any big contract quarterback on the books for next year.
but
We
is
haven't
that
had that since Matt Rhule took the job.
certainly? But I'll let me ping pong that back to you, CK. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because what
Good
that
thing.
says to me is we have no idea what we're doing at the quarterback position. Because as of right now, as of this moment, again, we don't just play 4 or 5 games. We got to play all 17. But we have the number 2 pick in the draft. The number 2 pick in the draft is where we're sitting right now. And, I said Matt Corral. I really was excited about Matt. I still think he has a ton of potential. I still think he can be a damn good football player. But if Matt Rhule is out the door and you're sitting there with the potential of drafting a CJ Stroud or a Bryce Young or a Will Levis after you continuously passed on quarterbacks the past 3 years in a row, you are out of your mind to think that Matt Corral would be enough to stop them from drafting
Oh,
that guy.
no way. And that's what we said that's what I've been saying about drafting Matt Corral in the first place,
I feel bad
is
for
the
him.
risk was too much for him and the organization. And that's why the only thing that got me hyped about the Matt Corral pick, Cody, was your pathway to success through the preseason if we didn't have Mayfield, right? Imagine if this was a Darnold. Really, what we should have probably done. We probably should have gone Darnold with Matt Corral and basically done what's happening to the Steelers right now.
Yeah.
Is they played Mitch Trubisky 2 games. They didn't like it. They basically played, ultimately, like we are, Baker Mayfield 4 games. Think about this, is that if Sam Darnold came out there and was doing what Baker Mayfield's doing right now, and we had Matt Corral, who had taken reps in the preseason, who had done stuff like that, we would have been saying, now, and then there actually would be a pathway for winning for Matt Rhule. Is Matt Rhule has to now go on an unprecedented winning streak for him to keep his job.
Yeah.
And
He has to get like 8 straight wins or some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why he's not gone yet.
Yeah, but with Matt Corral, though, if we would have been right here, think about this. If we would have been in this exact situation where the defense is turning the shit over, right? Like they're playing well enough to keep you in games, and Sam Darnold just wasn't able. Ben McAdoo and Sam Darnold just couldn't get this offense cooking. We would have the hope of saying, you know what, let's put it in Matt Corral and let's see if we can catch a little lightning in the bottle. And that hope and that aspiration may have been enough for us to go, oh, defense improved, special teams improved, offense getting better. If we just, build around that, next year it's going to be better. Matt Rhule, everything is on him just winning this season now. And maybe that would have been, I don't know, maybe that was, maybe either situation is untenable.
Well, here's the thing you got to keep in mind too. So if you look back to the reason that Matt Rhule is still here is because of 2011, 2012, and 2013. Because we had a year of where we only got 6 wins. We got 7 wins, middle of the pack, middle of the road, not great, but just, mediocre, right? And then we started out 1-5, wasn't it? And then we went on that 10-game winning streak, and we finished 12-4. Or so I guess we were 1-3, I think, 1-3, and then we finished 12-4 that year. And Ron Rivera was the coach of the year that year. Granted, we had one of the best defenses, which is a positive. And our point differential is the big part on that year. Our defense only had 241 points scored against them that year, which is absolutely asinine. When you look at that's one of the lowest I think I've ever seen. Like, just to put it in perspective, our defense last year at 404 points scored against it. And it was considered one of the best in the league.
What team is this you're talking about? Sorry, I was
Ours.
checking the voice.
2013 Carolina Panthers.
Oh, yeah. Best defense
that defense,
had.
right.
That shit was sick, bro.
We had 241 points scored against us that year, which is really low. When you look at that being 106, and that's like a large, I know it's 17 game season last year, so it's hard to put that comparison into place, but it's incredibly different.
I want you to listen to this. Is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before this past week? Oh, come on. Where is it? Before this past week, I know they kind of got lit up. Or not kind of. They got lit up by the Chiefs. Their first games, let me see, total. Their defense, they allowed, let's see, where was the points? Where's points? In the first 1, 2, 3 games of the season, they allowed 13. They allowed 20. What's 13 and 14? 27?
27, yeah.
In the first 3 weeks, they allowed 27 points. That's insane. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like one of those stats what you're talking about. And also, another thing that's weird about this kind of season, and we're talking about like looking at what these Panthers could be. You know, the Detroit Lions have the #1 scoring offense.
Yes.
In the league. And then they also have the worst. Imagine if you could pair the Lions offense with the Panthers defense. It'd be dope. Deuce Staley for head coach. That's what I say.
Yeah, there's so one more thing I wanted to mention though before we can jump into the cat calls here is that I really do believe there is a lot of dissension in our coaching ranks, and it even goes to the quarterback position because I'll give you credit, Tony. You were right. Ben McAdoo is a pass the football first type of guy, because of that, I really do think that Matt Corral was the guy in McAdoo, honestly, in the future envisioned.
He probably would have been great with him. That's a good point.
And he really would have. And I honestly think that this offense was way better suited for Matt Corral than Baker Mayfield. And by the way, if you actually go back to Ben McAdoo's quarterback rankings in the draft class that Baker came out in, he had Baker as his 6th ranked quarterback, behind even Mason Rudolph. So again, this guy was never a believer in Ben McAdoo, but now here comes Matt Rhule and David Tepper betting big on these sloppy second quarterbacks, and then now look where we are. He's trying to run his offense, and Baker Mayfield can't throw a pass without having it batted at the line of scrimmage. I understand people.
It's just been
upset with McAdoo. But I honestly think that for as long as
he's the problem. He's a bigger problem than Mayfield.
Oh no, he's not. No,
yeah,
his balls aren't
100, bro. 100.
Everyone said that about Joe Brady too. So it's like, why is it the same thing?
No one. We didn't go in on Joe Brady. No one went on Joe. We said that Joe Brady could not exploit the other teams. That was what we said about the thing about Joe Brady. What we were concerned about was that it was the organization of the week, the planning, the getting the team. It wasn't. And what I'm just saying is that the McAdoo, he's basically doing the same exact job, or maybe even actually worse than Joe Brady did. Let me just say worse than Joe Brady did. And he's got the experience. McAdoo is not game planning for the other team at all.
But that's literally what people said
he's
about
terrible.
Joe Brady.
Remember what I'm saying is that they both stink.
Or the quarterback just sucks a big one, bro.
That's so what I think. All right. So you think that no, I can't. But look, yes.
Did you
Mayfield sucks, bro. He sucks. He sucks an incredible one. I'm not saying. I think that McAdoo, I think I look at both of them and I want to just destroy both of them at the same time. Like, I
Do
mean,
you
I don't
think
know if it requires me to hate one more than the other. They both suck the
have
same
they okay, but
giant
have
bees.
did both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield through the 4 games that we've played, have they missed a ton of wide open receivers? Yes or no?
No, I would say Sam Darnold's like 10 times better than what Baker Mayfield has done.
But okay, but you would agree that Baker Mayfield is missing. There are times when he would just miss an open receiver.
Yeah,
Like that
that's what
one.
I'm saying. He sucks.
Okay,
Every
What
so
I
quarterback,
am
yeah.
saying
so
is
how
this:
is
is
that
that if
on
you
Ben
put
McAdoo?
Sam Darnold on this team, Ben McAdoo would still be terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, he's just not had a good strategy for his players.
we
And
would
Well,
at
here's
the
the
end of
thing.
the
Here's the
day,
argument that I understand from Cody's perspective is we saw in the first game there was this deep ball thought process behind it, and then maybe we adjusted to try to get the run game involved against the Giants, which worked effectively. But when you were trying to get the ball out to the flat, he wasn't able to hit receivers. He was overthrowing people. The people were dropping balls. He was getting balls batted at the line. Like, there's that argument as well. Like, if everybody executed the way that they, like, the problem is a lot of, if you watch these games, pretty much every single play is a failure on the offense to execute, and that can go back to the offensive coordinator.
what
It's
is
either
it?
a drop
Okay.
ball.
I was about, thank God.
It's either a drop ball from Ian Thomas. It's a miscommunication on a route because Baker's trying to throw a back shoulder and Robbie Anderson's running straight up the seam, or it's that Ian Thomas completely whiffs on a block on Allen and he gets a tipped ball that results in an interception, right? Like, there's like a failure across the board, which, if we're going to play that game, then yes, it falls on Ben McAdoo. We did the same shit to Ron Rivera when people weren't tackling when they weren't wrapping up their tackles. We said that's a Ron Rivera problem, because at some point when everybody's failing, it's got to go back to the guy on top. And right now, that guy is Ben McAdoo. Until that gets fixed, then that's a Ben McAdoo issue.
yeah, I agree. So hey, let's take care of some business real quick. First off, we didn't forget about you. Just don't care. Just don't care. JDC
Our
with
patron.
the $5. Yeah, dude, everybody loves Just Don't Care. He is the absolute man. Shout out to, and then James E with $9.99 says, "Do you guys think these offensive coordinators picked these quarterbacks, but Matt Rhule overruled? Brady offense looked good with Bridgewater, poor RZ, but good.
Ooh, what a
McAdoo
good
built
comment.
more for Corral." And I
This
honestly
is a
believe it.
great. That's a fantastic.
Fantastic. We appreciate your comment, James. And I do think that. I think our coordinators had a vision for what they wanted this offense to be. And then here comes Matt Rhule not knowing shit about truly doing. And honestly, I'm willing to put David Tepper more in on this blame as well. I think this is a David Tepper and Matt Rhule working in cahoots. Because I'm telling you, man, this is David Tepper written all over it. If you look at how that man made his billions, buying big on devalued
Which is a great take.
stock.
This is a great take by Cody.
Yeah, it's like that has David Tepper written all over it. And I think that they have been hand in hand in what they've done. That's part of the reason why David Tepper is hesitant to fire Matt Rhule. Because if he fires him, well, he's firing the guy that has literally been enacting the plan that he has co-signed the entire time.
I think it's desperation, man. I really think this is that. Put the comment back up. If we could put, was it James E's comment? Because I don't want to. First of all, is that when you're in the draft room, they leaned on McAdoo this year. We know it. You know what I'm saying? We watched the tape. We watched all of them. Matt Corral likely was a Ben McAdoo influence pick. That's what we think. But we know that Matt Rhule and Scott Fitterer's job are tethered to just immediate success. And not simply because of this year, but maybe because of their past sins over the last 2 years, right? So here's the thing is that it was a long shot to try to slam or smash with this offense with Matt Corral. Cody offered us a pathway, but it was like threading a needle. And these guys were trying to win. They've been trying to win now the whole time. That really actually, if anything, if there's the biggest criticism about this process is that they told us it was a 3-year build. They told us that there was a process. But I think they all were scared the whole time and trying to win now entirely. Going from Cam to Teddy was we don't want to be so bad in our first year. We want to sort of win now. Oh, our defense looks better than we expected after we drafted 8 players. Let's move on from Teddy, who we all shit upon, and rightfully so. I still, I'm not ready. I'm not backtracking, but it was like, oh, we can win more games now. We're chasing Deshaun Watson. We're chasing Matt Stafford. Oh, we get stuck with Sam Darnold, but still trying to win now. And then that doesn't work. And obviously they're on the hot seat. He should have been fired last year, or I believed he would have been fired. I'm surprised he still got a job, honestly.
Well, the problem with this 3, and we'll go into the super. I guess we get a couple more super chats, maybe not. But
Cat calls after this.
I hope
cat
we
calls.
get. Come on,
Yeah,
the couple more.
Right.
Chat us up, baby.
The 3-year plan was a facade. It was something that was sold to us.
It was false. It was bullshit.
It was something that was sold to us from everybody on the outside, right? It was sold to us by looking at the history of Matt Rhule and thinking, all right, we got to give this 3 years. The problem is you don't do a year. You don't get rid of a guy like Cam Newton, then sign a quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater,
quarterback,
right?
Bridgewater,
still eating his contract, trade him away, trade for another guy, pick up his 5th-year option with no evidence that he can play well in the NFL, then keep him on the team, trade for another guy. Like, you rebuild by putting people in place that you can build on, right? And they haven't done that.
Thing I ever heard.
Right. It makes no sense whatsoever. You should, if nothing else, you should have kept Teddy.
Did he say that makes no sense?
It made no sense. This makes no sense.
Sorry.
I like
no.
the soundboard.
They should have either, and I agree with King Rook. He says they should have kept Cam. That was a 0 risk, all reward option to keep him.
Or even if they didn't look, they didn't need to keep Cam. They could have done the Teddy Bridgewater route. They overpaid Teddy. The only problem with the Teddy Bridgewater option was the overpay. That's it. Like, they should have just given him a 2-year deal, a 1-year deal. You don't give a guy who's played 5 games
Right.
that 63. The only problem, look, it made sense to move on from Cam, find a bridge quarterback for your franchise. Well, we got to get Cody. I got to get that sound bite of Cody go, franchise quarterback. I need a franchise quarterback. But my point is this, is they never stuck to their plan. They never stuck to what they really wanted to do. And they should have. In many ways, they should have. And I know we shit on Teddy, but we should have maybe drafted a quarterback the next year. We should have let Teddy start the next year. But now we have kicked and kicked. They have thrown the biggest, I guess, what is the biggest sin on Matt Rhule's era is just not being able to nail the quarterback position, right? I mean, like, that's it. It's like they have swung 3-4 times. It's just miss after miss after miss. And you might say that ruined his, like he might walk, if you are hanging out with Matt Rhule in 5 years, right? And you're like, oh, what went wrong? Like, that's going to be the discussion. You could say, oh, you're a cool guy. You got a ping pong table in the room. You do got this. Like, he did some things, I guess, that could have worked. But he took some gambles.
Right.
That didn't work. This offense fucking sucks a giant D, bro.
That it certainly does. And by the way, to our patrons saying, just don't care. He said, here's your super chat. Thanks for the show, boys. Keeping me up past my bedtime consistently. And you know what? There'll be enough time when you check out the afterlife. Right now, you've got to be here and complain about the Carolina Panthers. And you know what? I do believe that it is your turn to let us know what you think about this football team. It's time for one of our best segments that we've ever done. It's the time where we listen to you, the fans of the C3 podcast. Let the cat calls at 252-228-5098. Leave a message and let us know what's up.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
I was at the game today. To say I was beyond disappointed is an understatement, but it was insane how many people were piling out of that stadium at the beginning of the fourth quarter, really at the first half of the fourth quarter. I've never seen the stadium so empty myself. I don't think Baker is the answer, but I also don't think any quarterback could succeed in this system. And for McCaffrey to only have 8 carries is unbelievable, and 2 in the second half is unbelievable. The defense is solid, but I still don't think Phil Snow is the answer. But the morale in Carolina is horrible right now. We're pretty much dead last in the league in offense, and this defense can only do so much. Yep.
The fact that I saw I think it was Chris McLean, Mac FNZ, but he said this is we were tied 10, we were up 10-3, either up or tied at halftime, and we ran the ball 2 times to come out in the second half, and then we didn't run the ball again for the rest of the half. Think about that. You have the best running back in the league, and you run the ball 8 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is fucking incredible. I don't know how you deal with it. Let's go to the next call. The number is 252-228-5098.
So, guys, this is Chad down in Charleston calling in. We just wanted to get everyone's opinion on a couple things. Obviously, Baker's not working out. Quarterback situation, I've been continually saying I think we need to, until you have a quarterback, it don't really matter in the NFL until you have that position figured out. We don't have one, and I think we're better suited to tear this thing down. I keep saying that. The Cardinals game was terrible from the offensive standpoint. We have Niners, Rams, and Bucs coming up.
Dude, the Niners.
3 more losses. At what point do we move on from Matt Rhule, and at what point do we look at this and say, hey, we really need to get a top 2 or 3 pick to go get one of these quarterbacks that is in college and build around that. I just continue to stay on the fact that even if Darnold comes back or we get hot, best case scenario, we're a 5-win team, 4 or 5-win team. I mean, the Falcons look way better than us. That's the game after the Bucs. They got the Bengals, Falcons again, Ravens. I just don't see any real way that we could make the playoffs with this offense, and I don't see a solution on the team. So if you don't have a quarterback, you really can't compete in the NFL for anything worth competing for, which is a Super Bowl or even win the division. So curious on y'all's thoughts on when we try to make the shift to move forward. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the show.
Yo, bro, that shit was
That
fire,
shit was
bro.
Fire. Look, it's just time to fire Matt Rhule, I guess. I mean, what else do you do? The Niners are coming. Hey, bring the PowerPoint back up. The PowerPoint. It's not a PowerPoint, but bring the show notes still
The Niners
up.
slide.
Oh my God, the Niners fucking smashed last night, CK.
Dude, they wrecked the Rams. They made the Rams look as bad as us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And well, exactly.
That's what happens when you have a good head coach and you have a
No.
coach.
I watched that whole thing, and I watched this. I watched a replay today, CK, and I looked at that front line from the San Francisco 49ers, who got 7 sacks. I looked at that secondary, who was attacking balls all the time, and then I didn't even care about the offense. That defense is gonna fucking wreck us, bro.
But watch this be the game that our offense decides to just fucking
That's what I've been wondering
crazy.
about. We need to get in the PrizePicks soon, but yes, that's what I'm. Is it possible, CK?
No, I mean it's possible. I guess anything's possible, but like, is it something that I'm banking on happening? Absolutely not. I mean, against an offense or a defense like the Cardinals, when you thought they had a chance to actually do something substantial, it was just as bad as you can get. Like, that's the thing that's most disheartening about this, is it was as bad as it can get as an offense. And now we're here. So yeah, I don't think it's going to work in our favor, but crazier things have happened, certainly.
Dude, Deebo Samuel's such a beast. Like, he's just a beast, man. He's a freak of nature. He had like a 70-something yard return for a touchdown. It was a pass.
We saw it. He snatched it out. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
Around everyone, dude. Deebo Samuel's a beast. I'm a Clemson
It was
fan,
dope.
Man.
It was dope, but
I gotta give this man credit. He went to South Carolina. He's a damn good football player.
The number is 252-228-5098. Let's go to the next call. I hope.
It was good, fellas. It's Corey calling in.
Corey.
It's 1:27 p.m. Monday afternoon during this call. As of right now, Matt Rhule is still employed by the Carolina Panthers. And, I mean, shit, if it doesn't happen today, then he's going to keep his job going into this next week. And I think probably the number one question on most Panthers fans' minds is not if, but like when is he going to get fired? Because, yeah, we've officially become the number one poster child for dysfunction and just terribleness. That's not a word, but, of the NFL. Like, we got
it is tonight.
Because going on Twitter today, Skip Bayless calling our entire organization trash, banging on the table. Matt Rhule is trash. David Tepper is trash. Ben McAdoo is trash. And I'm like, yo, like, I mean, it is what it is. It's all true. But, it's all about, how much longer does Tepper want to, be embarrassed, I guess, is the biggest question. But I want to talk a little bit about CMC, man, because I find it very interesting. I really cannot figure out what side I'm on as far as wanting to keep him, trade him, as far as like a rebuild and scrapping everything goes. I'm not really in the camp of, trading away all of our best players and just scrapping everything, because for one, I feel like I don't want us to come in, like go into this draft, get somebody like a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud or somebody like that, and then have them come to an offense that's, completely depleted. And then after 2 years of seeing a guy, we still got fans arguing, oh, he doesn't have any help. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have. So
I think we're in decent shape on where offense is at, honestly.
Next quarterback, somebody who we're going to, take a flyer on and actually see our team at full strength with them. But, I don't know, man. I just feel like now the season's going along this way, there's a very good chance we're going to see a lot more, DNPs from Christian McCaffrey. Like this past week, I'm pretty sure it was his hamstring he was game time decision on. Like, he fought through it, and he dressed for the game. He played, but shit, that line, if we 2-6, that's gonna be a sit out. You know what I'm saying? So like, I want to see like how the season plays out. Is a team looking to trade him? Is a team looking to play him to keep his value up? Are they looking to hold on to him to help, like, because he is still like he's going to be so important for any young quarterback we bring in. Like, he would obviously make things easier for them. But let me know what y'all think, man. I know Panthers
this is an important
Nation is
call
kind of
right
divided
here.
on this as far as like scrapping everything, rebuilding, or like keeping the core.
This is an important call, and the reason I say that is we probably need to trade Christian McCaffrey after this season. I would say during the offseason, not to unload his contract. It's not because he costs too much. And yes, he's an expensive running back. I understand that. But at the end of the day, having that running back next year probably will not help you a ton. But it could help another team. So you might as well get a few assets for him. This team is in the rebuild right away.
You might never get another Christian McCaffrey, but you will find another running back that will do what you're asking him to do. So look, I also I write for the Houston Texans also at Draft Tech, so I have to know a little bit about Houston. They have a 4th-round running back in Florida named Damian Pierce, and he has more yards than most of the big name guys right now. Derrick Henry. This dude is an absolute baller. Those offensive skill positions, like it or not, they're a dime a dozen. There's a bunch of them.
Well, they're not a dime a dozen.
Every year.
They're not a dime a dozen. Just the fact is, having the best one in the league could benefit a team that's making a push. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like, look, at the end of the day, Christian McCaffrey is still a tremendous back right now. He's just being not misused, being wasted. Like, if you could just put him on a team. So let's just think about this. If we could send him to a Philadelphia Eagles, if we could send him to a Kansas City Chiefs, right now, they would pay the money now for the benefits, and it would probably be worth it. It's not worth it for us because we're going to get 4 wins.
So 2 things. He is being underutilized because he had 7 carries in the second half. So we're built to run the football.
Right, but we still would have won 5 games, Cody.
Right,
doesn't matter if you used him better. We still win 5 games.
But he has never put us over the edge, Tony.
He could put another team over the edge right now.
But so, and that's where we're agreeing. We're not that team that he's going to put over the edge. What I'm doing is I'm calling Buffalo because we already know Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. We have a great relationship with them. Their squad is rolling. I'm like, hey, man, you give me at least a 2nd-round pick for Christian McCaffrey. And I'm taking that in a heartbeat. And by the way, the Panthers
they're going to have to pay.
Panthers and Panther fans do this thing where we never want to do a full rebuild. Oh, no, we don't need to do it, man. We're a few
no
players
team
away.
wants to. No fan base wants to, bro.
You know what? Sometimes you need the medicine that's inside the syringe.
Man, you ever met a Jaguars fan? Have you ever met a Jaguars fan?
But I don't give a damn about them. We need to.
They don't have any. That's the point, bro. That is the point. We get locked into that losing mentality. No, it's not a mentality. We don't have enough culture, bro. We don't have enough generational fans. Look, I mean, honestly, the people that are the hardest, not the hardest fans. I'm not trying to say we're harder than people that are listening. But look, 2 of the people. Cody, you didn't even watch the Panthers before 2010. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we can survive a tank. That's my point.
Oh,
You don't have
yes,
enough.
we can, dude. I don't want to hear that shit. And
Mm.
everyone will survive it. No, it doesn't have to take long. It doesn't have to be this
Well,
3 or 4.
why
See,
haven't the Jags done it faster with
no,
your
but okay,
best
because
quarterback in
no,
the
they
history
have
of the
been.
world who had a bazillion fumbles the other
Well,
night?
one, he's only on year 2, and he started out the season looking really, really good. But number 2, the other teams have done it way better. If you half-heartedly commit to a rebuild, then you never do it right. You end up kicking the can down the road even further. What I'm saying is, if we get to the middle of the season and we're at 1-6 or 1-7, oh, dude, I'm stocking up
We're already
draft
there.
picks. Okay, the need to be asking ourselves is what players are off limits. What players are off limits
None.
that you
None.
absolutely do not touch in a trade? I don't know. Do
None.
you get rid of? Do you, I don't know. I think CMC just because of the
Nah.
position
All
he
these
played.
guys, all right, even Brian Burns, think of who our best players are. I would say
Get paid
Jeremy
soon.
Chin. Maybe Jeremy Chin.
Yeah.
Because you got maybe a
I
year
say
left on
JC
this
Horn
contract.
just because he's too
Yeah.
young or
Okay.
you have
No.
too much
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
left
Because you
on
get a
the deal.
5th-year option on the top. Maybe Jared Brown. Like you're trying to shed contracts at that point.
Yeah, but then
Like your
also,
best players are on the chopping block.
but aren't you also trying to look at what players that you think are still going to be able to be impact players down? So okay, so the young players like okay, a Jeremy Chin, I know he's going to want to get paid soon, but I'm fine with making sure Jeremy Chin stays in the building. I'm fine with making sure
Was a
that
second round pick when? So you
no,
just have
JC
to think
Horn.
of the life of the contract, right? So JC Horn you could potentially get a 5th-year option with him. We're heading into the 5th-year option of Brian Burns, right?
Right.
Like, so for me, I'm saying this is like, we're not going to be good enough to keep Brian Burns and pay him the money. So peace out. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but like I'm trying to find the younger players when we got more. If I'm a GM, I'm trying to watch my money.
And if we remember the reports that we broke, if there is, um, if there is dissension in the ranks with Brian Burns not thinking that
No, you
his
don't want to be
future,
here. Would
yeah,
you want
if
to?
he doesn't believe his future is in Carolina, again, you got to start looking at getting value now instead of
And the
waiting too
players
long.
want to be like that too, Cody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The players, their money gets maximized when they have success. Why would Brian Burns want to languish on the Carolina Panthers when he could go join in a sense, like a Chargers or, you know what I'm saying, like a team that they're one piece away?
Yeah.
We're not one piece
It's hard to
away.
replace. Yeah,
Well, when he's the focus of a team as well, like of a defense, like a defensive line, when you can't get pressure as a 4-man rush, like that makes Brian Burns' job way harder because here's the thing that's crazy about this 4-man rush issue that we have. Brian Burns is being double teamed. Everybody else is not, and they're still not getting that pressure. Like, I know we want to give some kudos to the defense, but the problem that we're having right now is this defense is not getting pressure on quarterbacks outside of Brian Burns.
Well, yeah, he's had probably his best season so far.
That's why I don't want to get rid of him.
Yeah, but I don't care about. It's not about whether you want to get rid of him or not. It's whether or not we're going to be competitive. And he's in a pay.
Yeah, but
defensive ends get paid, homie.
The more you get rid of Tony, the more you have to replace. And what's the likelihood that we're going to quickly to find someone that can match what Brian Burns does, especially the very year after you lost Hassan Reddick. By the way, Hassan Reddick is looking like
Frankie
nightmare fuel over there in Philadelphia.
I think didn't he get hurt? I thought he got hurt. No.
No, I mean maybe he did. I don't know. All I know is that what I have seen of Hassan Reddick, that guy looks like he's absolutely unbelievable. I cannot stand that we let
Can
that
I-
man walk through the door.
All right,
Can I
let's
tell
go.
you something? If you want to talk about the Brian Burns,
I think
you don't
Frankie
think
Louvu has replaced Hassan Reddick.
No. Not from a pass
Not at all.
rushing standpoint. But here's the thing: you don't think Brian Burns looks at what Hassan Reddick is doing right now on another team and what that team is doing right now? Like, you don't think that he looks at that enviously? Like, oh my God, Hassan Reddick was literally here, had a good year. He went, got the bag, and he's on a team that is considered the best in the NFL. Like, you don't think he's looking at that right now?
Sad, dude. The Panthers
That's a
are
good
sad.
point. All right,
Super
let's go to the
sad,
next
man.
call.
Hey, this is Boomer Sooner 42069 calling back again, straight from Oklahoma. You already know what it is, boys. But you know what? I'm coming around to, what you guys think. Baker Mayfield is trash, okay? But I got something to tell y'all that there's a ray of hope in this darkness, okay? Because there's a man on the free agency streets right now. And his name is Sam Bradford, all right? This dude is going to come back into the NFL and light it up. I mean, this dude lit it up at Oklahoma. And y'all just need to go out the track with Baker Mayfield and give this great coaching staff a new quarterback, all right? So give him Sam Bradford. That dude, he's never been injured in his life. Like, he's strong as an ox, all right? And I know that Ben Mackerel and Matt Rulers, they'll get the job done, boys. All right. Love you, boys.
Yo, bro, that shit was fire.
No, it wasn't. Actually, this is what I was trying to do. Where is that? I have a fire Matt Rhule in here.
Do you?
I did. I thought that was.
Yeah, my man said Sam Bradford. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, he's been hurt his entire. Well, first of all, he hasn't played in 15 years, but he was hurt his entire career.
Let's go after Marcus Russell while we're after.
Can we talk about how selfless we are as fans, that we want the Panthers to trade away our favorite players so they can go somewhere else and have a good time?
I felt that same way with I felt that way with Steve Smith at one point. I thought if we could have put Steve Smith in 2010, 2011 with that Peyton Manning offense in Indy, I was like, oh man.
Honestly, I think we should all take a moment, pat ourselves on the back. Honestly, selfless,
we're great
selfless
dudes.
fans right here, man.
Yeah, we're great guys, man. Just the best.
All right, let's go to the next call. Where'd it go?
Good morning, boys. It's Tuesday, the morning of y'all's podcast. This is Baby Rhino here in Jamestown.
What up, Rhino?
Tony had said something about on the post-game show about not being angry and just don't have any emotions anymore. That's kind of where I am. I've been a fan of this franchise for 28 years, and this is the worst that I've ever seen. We've been in quarterback purgatory for longer than we should be. But, I'm not mad. I really don't have anything to analyze. I just know that our offense is just not doing what it needs to do. But what gets us through all of this is the C3 Panthers podcast. You boys keep us going. Even if it's chit-chatting about nothing.
There it is.
I'll still tune in and listen. Again, I'm a car rider too, so I like those long formats so I can listen to you a couple of days.
Appreciate you, man.
So hit that like and subscribe button, everybody. Give these boys a chance to kick that algorithm's ass.
Yeah.
And just keep pounding, guys. It's going to be brighter days one day. Maybe just not now.
Later, man.
You know
CK,
what?
When you have... Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so I don't know why that call spurred this recollection. So there was, I remember, it might have been from 2015 or maybe a year before that or whatnot. I remember there was a stat that said that they had found, and it's a logical stat, that the city of the team that loses the Super Bowl has a significant uptick in the porn usage that year. All right. Just so you guys know, I think Pornhub should move their headquarters to North Carolina at this rate. Like,
they just might. CK is like Charlotte's one of the largest growing cities in the Southeast, And it's partly because all these big Fortune 500 companies are headquarters to Charlotte. So hey, Pornhub, come over here, man. The prime real estate, dude. Shit.
Man.
Yeah, CK, like the fact that we have callers that have been lifelong fans. I mean, since the inception of the team, the fact that we have these fans calling us and telling us that they can't remember a worse time in Panthers history, that's crazy to me, man. And the fact that they went through a 2010 season that netted the first pick in the draft, like when fans are saying that it's worse than it's ever been, it's bad, man.
It's so bad.
It's tough. And someone put this to me, Cody, is like, I know that you like, I only started when Cam Newton came around. We've seen some hard times, but I don't even remember when this fan said this. He said we've lost 18 straight. And that is what us got Julius Peppers. I became a Carolina Panthers fan when that was when I became a football fan. Like, I remember it, like Julius Peppers, the jersey. I remember all of that. They lost 8. He said, we lost 18 straight, homie. But I would say even to them that you were a young team. At least you had that kind of thing to fall back on. I mean, like, we're just new. We are just new. So here, let me see if I don't. Tell me if I played this call twice.
Gentlemen, we suck. This is Daniel, by the way. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm from South Carolina, and I drove, to this game. Drove over 2 hours to get to this Cardinals game, and I'll be completely honest with you guys. I went to support the Mills family, which I'm sure is maybe quarter of stadium that was there to do as well, support the Mills family more than the Panthers themselves. On top of the tickets being cheap, but sitting there and watching this game, it's bad. Like, it's so bad, and I can't get over, the frustration, because if it wasn't for our defense, and if it wasn't for Christian, we wouldn't even, I don't even think we'd be even talking about the possibility of even winning one game. I mean, this is so bad, and then on top of that, press conferences and having to hear this fool talking about the fans don't matter if they boo when they're winning. It's just going to be them in the locker room as well. Man, come on, man. Like, we pay for merchandise. We pay for tickets. We drive far to get to these games, and on top of them being just plain out bad, you have to get disrespected by this guy too. Like, man, I've had enough of this. This is bad. Rhule can go. Baker can go. Dan can go. Just clean house and let's start over. But as always, gentlemen, keep pounding. Thank y'all for all that you do. And guys, subscribe.
Appreciate you, man. Fantastic
Daniel,
call.
I want you to, I want you to send me an email at carolinacatchronicles.com, or not .com, at gmail.com, or hit me up on Twitter. You know how to find us. I would hope, obviously, you know how to call. Give me the last 4 digits of your phone number, so I know it's the Daniel that called. I'm sending you a t-shirt, bro.
Fantastic.
I'm sending you a t-shirt, Daniel.
Sensational.
But no, because I understand, and it's not that we don't need a win just to drive. I mean, like I don't need a win. It is a game of sport, a game of chance in a sense. That you don't buy a ticket to see a W. But we do pay an incredible amount of money. We donate an incredible amount of our time, our energy. And this is just tough. It's tough for someone has to drive like that. I have to drive 4 hours to go to the game. Daniel, look, send me a message on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. Hit me up in the DMs or email me at carolinacatchronicles@gmail.com and just make sure you say I'm Daniel and you put in the last 4 digits of your phone number so I know it's the Daniel. I'm sending you a t-shirt because I know that feeling. I know that feeling. You know what? We're feeling that feeling together as fans. That call touched me, man. That call touched me. Cody, we are sponsored by PrizePicks. Did you know that?
We sure are.
Holy
I
cow.
did know that.
I won
Dude, they're
this
the best
week, bro.
sponsor ever, man.
I know. Especially when you win. Bro, I won. I stopped the losing streak. It was incredible. So you can go to prizepicks.com and use the promo code C3. If it's your first time, you're going to get a 100% deposit bonus. And each and every week, we make prize picks based on the game going forward. Now, prize picks works like this. It's kind of like, I don't know how you have multiple entries. There's a betting term for it. I don't want to say. It is daily fantasy football sports. That's what it is. It's not gambling. It's not sports betting. It is daily fantasy sports. But what you do is this. You pick 2 people from different teams. You can do anything, Cody. You can do MMA. You can do NFL.
College football, college basketball.
It's Taco Tuesday today, and they even gave you a discount on a play, an entry this week. Yeah, and you put these together, and you can win up to 3, 4, 5 times your money. Last week, Cody, I hit all 3 of them. I got the more on James Conner. I got the more on Baker Mayfield. I got the more on DJ Moore. And I turned $5 into $25. It's fantastic. Man, Prize Picks.
I was so close.
I know.
I had 2 out of 3.
Said.
I had 2 out of 3, man. And of course, the Panthers decided I don't need to run the football with McCaffrey. And yeah, of course. And they also provide bet insurance. So, like, if you have 2 or 3 picks, you can decide instead of doing the full multiplier, I'll make it where I get just 1 wrong and I still hit a 5-time multiplier. It's incredible, man. We absolutely love Prize Picks. And Prize Picks, they paid us, man. So it's like they're really
straight
supporting.
Up the gout.
They're
first sponsor ever. Just said we love y'all.
If you want to support us, do it with Prize Picks. Download Prize Picks today and play fantasy sports. But make sure you use the promo code C3 when you sign up. All first-time users that deposit and use our C3 promo code will receive a $100 instant deposit match, $100 instant deposit match up to $100. If you deposit 100, Prize Picks will give you 100. If you deposit 50, Prize Picks will give you 50. That's prizepicks.com. Check them out, man. You want to
I can't share my screen, strangely. I don't know. I don't have the share screen. Can you pull down that one, maybe the Google slide? I have this. Yeah. Is all of a sudden there's been an upgrade to our streaming service. I have the word present. At the very bottom? It says present now.
Yeah,
present screen. Now that's new. It used to be called stream, right? Or share. Excuse me. Share. No,
so now you just. Yep.
All right, so what we do on Prize Picks is look, I want to show you guys my entry from last week. Let me see if I can get to this. Starting with $50, 191 past entries. Look at this. I was so mad about this one. Your boy. Can you see my screen? Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cody, your boy, Trevor Lawrence. What a bum. What a fucking baby bum. He fumbled the ball 4 times. I thought this was the safest one out of these 3. I thought,
He was playing Philly.
no, I thought,
defense in the NFL.
no, I thought Doug Peterson going back home, a team that's great. Jacksonville's going to have to try to score, 245 yards. I didn't ask for him to win the game. I didn't ask for him to get 7 touchdowns. I thought this was the easiest one of these. Didn't get it. Stephon Diggs, bro, they made this giant comeback. How do you score all these points? He don't get it. I won the Ryan Tannehill less than, but here it goes. Last week on the C3 Panthers podcast, Tuesday night show, I went Baker, Moore, 195.5. DJ, more, 49.5. And James Conner, more, 38.5. Here's what's crazy, Cody. And I don't know if you were still around when we talked about this on the postgame show. Baker Mayfield got 197. Guess how much Yeah, he barely got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, man, it's finally where I got you, Prize Picks. I got you. And then what about DJ Moore? He got 50. 50.
Yeah,
how
dude.
cool is that? I took $5 and I turned it into $25. Prize Picks, promo code C3, bro. I feel like we need to make some picks this week. And I don't think
I want
early,
you to check
though.
out the 49. Yeah, check out the 49.
All right, let's do it.
Because I want to see what they have Deebo Samuel doing to us.
I don't think they're going to put it up yet.
They'll probably
This
have
is the
something
problem. We're
because it's
so
such a good
early.
game.
All right, let's see what we got. 40. We're going to go 49ers. I don't know if we're going to get.
Wow, you're right. They don't even have an offensive player.
Nope.
Yeah, they don't
It's
have
a
anything.
little early in the week. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. Maybe not. Well, maybe I'll type it. Yep. See Panthers. Oh, they feel good about the Panthers, though. See, they're trying to figure out. They're trying to gauge injury. Yeah, I mean, like, they got their things. This is here. Let's use this. Is the Carolina Panthers now have to play a team that just fucking dominated the Los Angeles Rams. Jimmy Garoppolo's coming in there. Their defense is incredible. I feel like this. I watched that game, Cody. I feel like Baker's got no chance to get it right. I feel like he has to have a get right game. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to have a game where we go, oh, he's not as bad as he was for weeks 1 through 4.
Why would you
I don't
believe
think it's this week, though. I mean, like, how could you bet on it? I'm not touching this one. I'm not touching it.
And knowing, they have problems at the line of scrimmage. The 49ers D line is already good at getting their hands into
They
the
sacked Matt
windows.
Stafford 7 times, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and by the way, him and Baker Mayfield are the same amount of mobile. So if Matthew Stafford wasn't able to run away from him, Baker Mayfield sure isn't either. You know what I'm really worried about? I'm really worried about the health of Bolton and Baker Mayfield. Because apparently Nick Bosa for the 49ers is just absolutely teeing off on fools. And one of the things that we kind of mentioned in the postgame show is that Taylor Moton really has not been having he hasn't been playing his best football. He really hasn't. And again, I don't know what you attribute that to, but I don't know. It just kind of seems to me like this has the potential to be a bad matchup for that right side of the offensive line. I wouldn't even doubt it as a tight end or a running back on that side just to help chip.
Yeah, outside of Moton's question mark, so the only thing I'll say is the difference between this year and last year is the Rams' offensive line is way worse than it was last year as well. Right?
Okay.
They lost Whitworth, they lost Bozeman Corbett, I mean. And I mean they've
lost Whitworth
pieces.
too, though.
Yeah. And so their offensive line is definitely significantly worse than it was last year. So it's not the same team, but at the same time, our right side of our line has been less than ideal. I was thinking our biggest weakness coming into this season would have been our left side. Icky has turned out to be a he's actually come along pretty well. Our right side has gotten eaten alive.
Icky had a good. Well, I told y'all not to be. I hate to be that told y'all so person, but don't panic over left tackle in his first season. And you know what? As you not y'all, but some people panicked over him in a game or two. I give him a whole season pass.
There's no shot we're favored by 6.5 points.
No, they're favored by 6.5.
Oh, it says Panthers favored by 6.5.
No, we're 6.5. No, we're 6.5 dogs. We're 6.5 dogs. My question, all right, if we could ask this is, I mean, seriously.
This is on the road or at home?
No, it's at home.
Okay, yeah.
I would say this. They're basically touchdown favorites against us at home, which means they're probably going to win by 9 is what the old school analytics of betting would say. But here is, I'm not comfortable with any of these numbers.
Mm-mm.
Like if I'm fading all the Carolina Panthers, and when actually, no, that's not the right word to use. I don't want to touch these because I could see all of these guys beating these numbers and us still losing. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see Baker Mayfield throwing 250, having his best game as a Carolina Panther, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but getting sacked 5 times. I could see Christian McCaffrey getting 65, 70 yards, but still being stifled by a defense until it doesn't matter. You know, like, I mean, it's like he could beat the 50 yards late in the game out of necessity. You know what I'm saying? Like last week, somebody said that, I think it was Paul Mancini put this in the comments, is that Baker Mayfield dropped a screen pass that put him on the more that he really shouldn't have been. So I think the Panthers, like right now, I think the Panthers can get beat the fuck up by this defensive line. By this defense, man. That defense was just eating ass. Against, it was crazy, bro.
How about this? There's a shot that Baker is benched by halftime if this defense plays the way they did last week.
No.
Bro, if this defense plays the way they did last week and Baker looks like garbage, you don't think there's a shot that they're going to be like, all right, we need to change?
I don't think so.
Dude, I think you might be a little bit wrong on that one. I think if it's a bad looks and we're losing by multiple digits, I think I could see a very clear scenario where they pull PJ Walker in there.
I mean, yeah, if
no,
like, look, that shows you how bad things are. If like, okay, better go to PJ to give the offense a spark. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And they might. I think they're really hating it that Matt Corral got injured for the season. The fact that they can't go to Rook and get him some time. Because I think we would like. Could you imagine? Let me ask all this, and you might not feel any different. Would you feel any different about this team? Like, would you be more excited if Matt Corral was healthy and potentially able to play this year? Or are you still like, this whole thing is terrible?
No, I mean, I didn't. Here's the thing: is we didn't. Again, not with this coaching staff. 1, but 2. The what I saw from Matt Corral was not enough to get me excited about his potential. At least in his first year, we'll see how he does over the once he's rehabbing from his injury. But yeah, his performance, and even given the circumstances, and we can blame it on what we can, but his performance in preseason was abysmal. But it's something that he can progress from. I wouldn't have been excited, but I certainly wouldn't have been less excited for him than I would be for, Sam Darnold.
Can you put up why Big Jordan's comment, please? About
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Sorry. That's the stupidest
Which
thing.
one?
Remember, we would be why be that 4-0 with Matt Corral? Come on. Seriously.
Hey, but
It's
listen,
too much.
me and
Too
CK
much.
are a bit of a disagreement with this. I think that if you put this team, this offense, and these receivers around Matt Corral, dude, you can't tell me that he's worse than Baker Mayfield. I think he's a much more accurate quarterback with a better arm. I think he would at least get the ball downfield. Again, none of us are going to have a way to prove our point because we're like none of us know.
Matter. Everybody's he's not even going to play in
I
would be surprised if Matt Corral even completes a pass in the NFL at this point.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's a terrible place to be a 3rd round pick on a team.
Yeah.
Finding a new direction, coming off an injury. Like now he's going to be an unsigned free agent, somewhere like next.
So I told Cody at the beginning of the season, it's a win-win for Matt Corral that Baker got moved here because we felt like
lose.
If Baker didn't do good, well, guess what? It's Matt Corral season next year, right? But we also, none of us would have expected the Panthers to be this bad with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like not anybody would when we started this season. I think we had a lot of pessimism about this team, but we also had a tremendous amount of optimism. Hence, some of us had us getting 10 wins or 14 wins and like winning some of these games that we've lost and already up to this point. I think that the worst case scenario has happened. We're so bad that we're going to pick in the top 10 again, and we're going to go for a quarterback. Matt Corral isn't going to get a shot. He's going to probably be the backup. I don't think PJ is going to get another shot next year because Matt Rhule's not going to be here. So PJ's his guy. He's going to be gone. I think it's a clean house in the quarterback department next year.
All right, we got to try to find a sneaky prize pick real quick because I'm telling you right now, early on, I'm not interested in any of the Carolina Panthers ones. But we're going to make some money here. I made some money last week. We can find one right here real quick. Matt Ryan, more than 233.5 over Denver.
About the Colts or about how Matt Ryan looks as a player now to justify
Not
anything.
interested in it?
How about this? I would take J Herb at more than 250.5.
Not
it's 270, bro. That's 270, not 250.
And not against Cleveland.
No, 270.5. Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot. We need to try to find somebody.
All right, I'm telling you,
I think that's a little hard. I think that's a little much.
Is
he better that much?
Aaron Rodgers against New York Giants, 235 more.
But you see that? Yeah.
Love that.
That's a good one too because
I love that. I'm going with that. I kind of also thought that who was it? No, we ain't putting nothing on Justin Fields. Houston 240. Trevor Lawrence against Houston.
I don't know what their defense. I haven't really paid attention to Houston. They've been some of the.
I'm not afraid of that.
I like that. That's a good one.
And now we got to find one person that will. Oh, how about this? Somebody's throwing a pick.
No. Who they playing?
Matt Ryan. Pat Surtain. Let's go.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. Yeah. I like that too. Look, we're gonna take this. We're gonna put 5 on it. 5 on it. Look, We hit all three of these. More Aaron Rodgers 235. I feel good. I don't want to knock on. Done it. Prize picks.
Go all in, Tony. Hit the go all in.
Oh.
Just kidding. Don't do that.
I am. You know it. If you play Prize Picks, you just go get the app. Go to prizepicks.com. Daily fantasy football sports, which is legal in I think 30 states in the United States.
Yeah, some
North
states
Carolina.
some states is still not even up for grabs. A few of our fans have told us, but they're making more every day, man. This is going everywhere.
30 states. You can make your picks. You it's not gambling. You go in there, you use the promo code C3, and then all of a sudden you get a 100% bonus deposit on your first entry.
Up to $100.
Yeah, up to $100. I guess you couldn't put $1 million. Imagine if you would have done $1 million. What if Floyd Money Mayweather was listening to this podcast right now? He's like, I want to use $1 million. He would only get 100.
Right.
But if he used the code C3, he would be balling. And
with an extra 100.
That's right. That's a lot, though.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Here's the thing: is the way that PrizePicks is so
it's
fun.
so fun. I would do this even if they didn't sponsor us.
Yeah, $5 here, $5 there. Like you can like that 200 that you would get all together from your 100 and then the 100 bonus would go pretty much the entire season, assuming you don't make any money back. Which is the odds are in your favor that you're going to make money back, right? So certainly worth going and playing. As you can see, there's a lot of value, and it keeps all the games interesting that you decide to try to to guesstimate whether there's going to be more or less. So yeah, definitely use C3, get that 100% deposit match up to $100. If you put $50 in, they'll match you up to $50. If you do 75, they'll match you for 75. That's for your first time deposit using the code C3, and then go have some fun and see and share with us on social media when you hit.
I hit last week. Let's go to the next call. Here we go.
Podcast brothers, how y'all doing? G Cavassier. Hey man, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick and tired of looking on the internet and everybody saying that, the Panthers are taking for Bryce Young. Okay, look, Bryce Young is a good quarterback or whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? But I looked at something, I'm just now realizing he's 6 foot, man. He is 6 feet tall. He's the same height as me, man. Baker Mayfield is 6'1". So batted balls will be in our future, my opinion, if we get Bryce Young or whatever. My opinion, I think once Rhule is fired, we should, get a veteran quarterback. Not too old, but somebody been in the league for a minute, because the way I look at it, if we draft in a college quarterback, it's going to be 2 to 3 years before we are like any damn good, unless it's somebody like Ben Roethlisberger. If you remember, when he came in, he started dominating as soon as he got in there, man. Give me your thoughts on that, y'all. Keep pounding.
So more and more as time goes on, for me, by the mantra of don't judge a man based on what another man couldn't do before him. And I believe that. Like, I don't believe these idioms that people put forth. Well, if you draft a quarterback and you're at least 2 or 3 years from being good. And hey, to shout out G, maybe he's correct in that, right? But then you do have cases like Ben Roethlisberger, like Russell Wilson, even
Mahomes.
like Pat Mahomes, Matt Jones last year. Say what you want about Matt Jones, he went to the playoffs, made the Pro Bowl. So my thing is this: you have to build the way. You have to get a front office that knows what they're doing and knows how to build the team up. Look, inevitably the conversation is going to come down to CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Bryce Young is currently facing an injury right now. He hurt himself playing, I forget who, Arkansas, the Razorbacks this past Saturday. And that's part of my fear with Bryce Young is that Bryce Young is a guy that Drew Brees asking to release and getting the ball out of his hand fast. But you're talking about a player that is 6 foot, 195 pounds soaking wet, and you're going to ask him to do a lot of things in the NFL that he isn't having to do in the college game. Whereas if you look at a guy like CJ Stroud, to me, not only his physical traits, but the things that he's being asked to do over there in Ohio State, I think that they're more indicative of an NFL type of quarterback. But that physicality part is a big thing. He is almost 6'4". He does have a cannon for an arm. He is, so maybe Bryce Young can be a very good quarterback, but he's going to need to do a lot of things to make sure that that happens. And whether or not he does that, that still remains to be seen. And they're just so small playing NFL, man. They're just, your body has to be able to hold up.
family? It's your boy 89J Stubbs.
J Stubbs.
Surprised? Actually, I'm not surprised. No David Tepper news today. No Matt Rhule news today. I guess looking forward, like this weekend is going to be my last, and I go to all the games, bro. So this is going to be my last home game of the year against this 49ers team, and I'm just not going to spend the money. And I wish you can call me a bad fan all you want to, but I wish everybody would kind of follow along and just not go to the games and kind of send a message saying, look, we're not gonna do this shit.
It's the only way it changes, right?
But anyway,
the
if this does end disaster, because it's going to, I guess we kind of all figure that. It seems like JC settling in. It seems like Akim Aquanu gets better every week. So at least if we do rebuild next year, we might have a left tackle and a corner and some decent defensive players. Maybe the older guys we can try to trade out of here, like Shaq. Even Moten if we have to. I'd rather not. But, try to get some assets and make this job, very, very attractive to a good coach. And maybe we can get a quarterback and a coach next year and we'll have something to look forward to. But at this point, I don't want us to win. I know it sounds bad, but this long term, us winning 6 games and picking 8th or 9th again just doesn't go bode well for us at all.
Yeah, for the Birds.
But anyway, keep pounding. Looking forward to the show tonight, and there's brighter days ahead. Keep pounding.
You can't handle the truth.
Keep pounding, man. Everyone's so dejected, Tony. Everyone's like, yeah, I could go to the game, but why would I? And CK, I want to ask you this too. Like,
yeah,
how much Tepper, like how much patience does David Tepper actually have? Because every official rumor or every official news source will tell you that David Tepper is going to practice patience. But how often is this
lies, bro? That's all shit's lies as fuck.
Listen to his players and coaches being booed off field and him turning the entire fan base against his own self, calling all of us complainers basement dwellers.
That patience shit is crazy, bro.
Longer, huh?
The patience shit is stupid crazy, though. It's false. They just pulled it off of one comment like 7 weeks ago, and they've rode with it.
Well, it comes from Ian Rappaport, and everyone believes these official news
No,
sources.
man. Like, that was just like one little dribble he got. CK, that
right.
word, that's what they use. They use one little line, one little word. Come on. How much patience truly can you have? I think patience till week 8 would be a lot.
Yeah, patience till week 8 is a tremendous amount of patience. Like, it's I don't even really think about that, to be honest with you. It's depressing in and of itself to think that we're going to be waiting for that amount of time for a change.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next call.
What's up, C3? It's Anthony calling in. It's about almost 6 o'clock here in Charlotte. Well, went to the past game. I bet you guys heard my call. I was just like, fire Matt Rhule. Because, man, it was bad. It was disrespectful to Sam Mills and his family. We brought his family there, and then we put that product on the fucking field. It's embarrassing.
That hurt.
It's about the I wanted to lose these games. Not even I don't even need to like will myself to want to lose these games. I just think the Panthers are going to.
Right.
You know, everyone wants to blame Baker, and that's fine. He's not the answer. He's not the dude. He's playing like shit. But no one wants to talk about how we don't run the ball at all. That's on coaching. We ran 13 total times, man. It's just like we do not know what we're doing. And we've seen the same type of losses 3 years in a row. It feels like the coaching has gotten worse over time. It feels like Matt Rhule was a decent coach year 1. Year 2, he was bad. Year 3, it's just like, how is he? Year 3, it's like, how is this guy still have a job here? How owner is incompetent? If he doesn't want to accept mediocrity, great, David Tepper, because we aren't mediocre. We are bottom of the barrel. This is why I called in and I said, we got to tank now. I mean, this schedule is getting hard. If anyone watched the 49ers game, you will know that this team is going to give the offense a shitty-ass day on next Sunday, and I can already feel it. I don't know how many more L's it's going to take for Matt Rhule to get his ass out of here. But, man, the play calling's bad. The quarterback position's bad. Finally, the O-line's good, and we still have more problems. Yep, quarterback's bad, OC's bad, Matt Rhule's bad. Defense is good, but the defense is okay. I mean, the defense, I'm not going to put blame on them, but I feel like the defense is carried by a couple players regardless, that being Burns, Frankie Louvu, Shaq, JC. I mean, CJ Henderson is dog shit. But yeah, guys,
right.
Our best shot is, letting this ride out. If Rhule's going to lose us games, let him lose the games, and let's get a top pick and get that CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Anyways, keep pounding.
Good call. Let's go to the next one. The number 252-228-50.
I have one funny thing to say real quick. How hysterical would it be if we lost so bad that Matt Rhule just said, "You know what? I quit. Like, I'm done. I just quit.
You're getting
I'm done.
close.
It's not
close.
Listen, or he comes out and says, "Yep, David Tepper has fired me," and David Tepper runs out. "No, I didn't. Yeah, he fired me. I'm done. He's fired me. No, I didn't. Yeah, he sure did. He just told me back there."
All right, here we go.
What's going on, C3 Nation? This your boy Jay Anderson hitting y'all up. Man, I'm probably the only one, but I'm just loving this right now. I'm loving the losing that is happening. They 1-3. I'm hoping for 1-4. I know not good to root to get for your team to lose, but my whole thing is I just want Matt Rhule gone. I just want Matt Rhule gone. I just want him gone, man. I'm just rooting for the shit show. That's it. Excuse my language, but I'm just rooting for it. I have no emotions. This is the first time. I want to say this the first time because I had no emotions in 2021 and I had no emotions in 2020. So ever since the hire, I had no emotions for this team in anything. Even when Cam came back, I was like, no, Cam, don't come back to this team. This team is a shit show. Excuse my language, but this team is a crap show. I don't want to see you go to this team and be the scapegoat to what's going on. And sure enough, it happened. Dude is just a bad coach. I hope Nebraska, Arizona State gives him the money, and I would not be mad if dude did a Bobby Petrino, what Bobby Petrino did to Atlanta. I would not be mad. I would be happy. Thank God. I think everybody in the Carolinas or whoever's a Panthers fan would help him pack his bags and get him to where he need to be. because he needs to go. He's not a football coach. And Tepper, the dude, you need to let him. This is all on Tepper. This is the reason why you ain't got no headquarters in the Carolinas, is because you hired a crappy coach, and you let the GM and that crappy coach do their thing, and now you got a bad football team. You ain't even got a mediocre football team. You got a bad football team, a trash football team. And this is all David Tepper's fault. All right.
You can't handle the truth.
Fantastic. Hey, everything he said was 1,000% legit. Like, most people don't want and trade players away. They just want to get rid of Matt Rhule. I saw Drew in here earlier, too. He was like, yeah, Brian Burns doesn't want to be here with this coaching staff, but maybe he would if you got a legit staff and a legit quarterback through the draft. You know, this doesn't have to be as big of a turnaround or as long of a turnaround as people expect it to be. It might have been that call, but I forget who was mentioning it. Like, when does Matt Rhule just quit? Like, if he's getting job offers, like, which I'm sure he is, he's never going to tell anyone that he actually is or isn't. But at what point does he just cut his losses and say, dude, this ain't it?
Yeah, is it better to quit or get fired? I don't know.
That would be a hell of a thing, though. An NFL type of contract.
It happens all the time. Not all the time. Nick Saban did it. He quit. Petrino quit. There's been coaches who have said, I'm out. And they were all college coaches, too.
Right.
The number is 252-228-5098. What do you want to talk about when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers coming in here against the Carolina Panthers? Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared of that front, bro. They look so mean against the Rams. I don't know how Carolina's going to deal with them. What do you want to do with this organization? Is it time to tank? Do you want to give Baker Mayfield time? Or is it time to give Sam Darnold a chance to claw at Baker Mayfield's ankles? Let's go to the next call.
What's up, guys? This is Chase from Anderson, South Carolina. Well, 48 hours since the game, and Matt Rhule is still the coach. How disappointing. But I want to point out the irony of how the owners of the other teams got up an uproar about Tepper's contract he gave to Matt Rhule and his cost for resetting the market. Yet they're the same owners that will give players ridiculous contracts that continuously resets the market for players, which is more damaging to the team because of cap space. I want to give a ice up to the people who claim to be about acceptance and tolerance and about love and anti-hate. But you go tell them that you're a Christian, white, straight, gun-toting Trump supporter and watch that tolerance and anti-hate go out the window.
What's my man talking about?
Yeah, I was like, are we talking football still? Like, what are we doing here? All right, then. Next call.
Hey guys, Davey Link again. I'm out of the hospital. Yay. Still don't feel the best, but I am getting there.
Happy.
So I was listening to a couple of podcasts here, guys. Of course, my favorite, but listening to those podcasts to get some different views. Apparently, Baker has a tell that he'll bat the ball once or twice before he throws the ball, which means if you have a tell in poker, you're going to run out of all your money. If you're a tell in quarterback, you're going to have your ball stolen. So, I wonder if he's going to be told or taught, or he's too arrogant, according to the last press conference, to actually change himself. Another question.
Baker Mayfield.
I don't think Matt Rhule will last beyond the Falcons game in a couple weeks. This is just too bad. I'm sorry, when you statistically you're the 32nd quarterback of 32nd quarterbacks. When Jimmy Clausen and him had similar stats. Remember that. 2010. Clausen. Well, I want to hear what you guys think. We'll go from there and keep pounding.
I think that's the biggest, I won't say story, but surprise is how bad it's been with Baker. CK, Cody told us Baker was not going to be that good. He told us he wasn't going to be the answer. We tried to hope that he was going to rekindle some sort of, like we gave optimism, but we didn't think it would be like worse than Joe Flacco.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how would you be able to predict that? I mean, like when you look at the history, and that's one of the arguments we had is like, there's been a successful, history for him where he's had good years and bad years and good years and bad years. And then it just kind of comes back. Right. And that's where the consistency comes in. But nobody thought he was going to be this bad.
It's incredible. All right, let's go to the next call.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Jedi Joy calling in.
Jedi, what's
I'm not
up?
going to try to bitch too much today. I was listening to the radio show the other day, the morning show with Mac Attack. And they were talking about how, most of the time quarterback or coaches come into the league, they want to find their quarterback and, start their career off with the quarterback of their choosing. And, we decided to go with Teddy, who we only kept for a year, but it made me want to go back and think, what in hindsight would have been a great move. And, unfortunately, if you look at the 2020 season, most of the quarterbacks went off the board before we even got the pick. Burrow, Justin Herbert, Tagliavoa. Obviously, there could have been a trade up in that case, but, hindsight. One of the options that was available would have been just Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts, in year 3, he was actually balling and he got his team off to a 4-0 start. I know in hindsight, there were a lot of questions about Jalen Hurts before coming out. And I don't know. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that. Instead of getting Yator Gross Matos, had we selected Jalen Hurts in the second round and really knocked that out of the park. But love what you guys do. Keep your heads up. Keep on it.
We don't have to. Well, thank you. Thank you for the call. Number one, you're right. Jalen Hurts is balling out. He's been better. He is one of those stories that, too, is a kick in the balls to executives, to scouts, to all of this.
Yeah.
As he has exceeded expectations rather than failed to meet them like so many players throughout the league, or that they have, what they call it, scouted. But at the same time, the real thing that you're bringing up here is that the Carolina Panthers have just missed and missed and missed at quarterback.
Right.
That's just another example of a miss. It's not about that player. It could have been Mac Jones.
They're swinging at big fat softballs, dude. Like they're not even swinging hard at big targets, and they can't hit. It's embarrassing, man. It's never. I don't remember a time where it was ever this embarrassing to be a Panther fan, dude. It's bad,
stop. All right, the number is 252-228-5090.
When has been more embarrassing?
Oh, that's because you're a baby.
I don't got the.
We're a little bit too
I don't
too
care
much.
about all that other shit. This is more embarrassing than.
It's the most. How about this? Since we've been doing this podcast, this is the worst team there has been.
But even if you experienced those early seasons, you didn't experience this amount of sustained losing.
Dude,
like,
they lost 18 in a row in 2000.
Right,
18 in a row.
Yeah, but then at one point in time, though,
Jimmy Clausen, way worse.
We would have one good year, one bad year, one good year, one bad year.
Yeah.
It was like
that's after, bro. There was 2 years in a row where you lost 18 in a row. You lost the whole season. Think about that. Hey, we were just putting slides up about 9 in a row. Think of what 18 in a row would have felt like.
I don't know, man. I know this feels like shit. By the way, Anthony Piccarello, our boy.
What up, C3?
He says
JSU.
fire
I'm
rule.
gonna make it
It's
short.
CJ Stroud.
It's really nothing to talk about because I mean we're all feeling the same way about the team right now. But
Appreciate you, Anthony.
I'm just not understanding David Tepper. He's fucking in love with Matt Rhule, and it's confusing as fuck because you would think, seeing how horrible a coach be within his few years, even getting backlash from the fans. He brainwashed the players so much. It feels like watching Pennywise at his best. It's hella confusing. I would expect it from Robbie because he came from the same college. But damn, the other players, I wonder, are they holding back because they can't say certain shit to the media or players or coaches on the team? I'm just at the point to where I'm ready to clean house, players and coaches. I was never satisfied during Ron era as well. I feel like we need chemistry. We need to build chemistry on the line, both ends of the ball. We need coaches that care. I'm seeing a lot of fans wanting a defensive-minded coach when I want an offensive mind coach. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Keep pounding.
I just don't know how you could have any faith in any of the members of our coaching staff. It's like everybody we were sold the bill of goods on all of these people, and they just continuously disappoint. The only one that I think that I'm really okay with is Steve Wilkes, just because we have a history of him doing good things for this team.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think when you look at our defensive backfield, there are worse parts of our football team. They haven't been the best, but if you're asking me the worst part of our football team, I'm not picking the DBs.
When it comes to Wilkes, is that, I mean, that's a Band-Aid.
Right.
Or at least, maybe it's not. I think we should get an offensive coach. I want an Andy Reid. Like, if I could duplicate a coach, it's Andy Reid. And think about this. Andy Reid has been available at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got, not now that he's in KC. But imagine if you could have landed Andy Reid between Philly and KC. Think of how wonderful. He's like, I think he's the only coach that has done 3 home championships in a row for 2 different teams.
Why does he feel older than he is?
Bro, he's a genius. And I think, screw Bieniemy, bro. Bieniemy's I don't know him.
It's hard.
Fool's gold.
Yeah.
Fool's gold.
Do you think, do you know how old Andy Reid is?
No, I don't. This is where we need the stat, Daddy. I'll Google it.
I looked it up. I'm asking, do you have a guess?
I would say 67.
I mean, 64, but I thought he was like mid 70s.
No.
Like, I thought he was old as
He's
fuck.
just fat. And he eats terribly. He's awesome, dude. He's the offensive genius there. That's where I think Eric Bieniemy is a fraud. That's a mean word to say.
Keep on remembering, Tony, that people have a coaching tree. People have a coaching tree. So, like, you're a
Ron Rivera was a part of it.
Yeah,
he's an offensive genius.
Not at all. But yeah, I want the upstart offensive coordinator, the offensive mind, that we don't have to worry about our offensive coordinator leaving.
That's the benefit of having an offensive coach.
Yes, your offense gets to stay the same. Hey, bring Ken Dorsey back home. Damn it, let's go.
Who?
I mean, it's Ken Dorsey.
No, I talked too much junk about him.
What if he came back though?
He's a quarterback coach.
No.
quarterback coach is almost the
He
most useless
quarterback
coach on the
coached the best quarterback prospect in the history of eternity, and
Right,
Cam
but
Newton,
now
and
he's
didn't
the
help him.
coordinator.
He didn't help him. I'm
Now he's the
sorry. And
coordinator.
I've tried.
Look
No,
at what the
he's too
Buffalo Bills
young.
are doing.
Too young. No, they did that with Dabo last year. Nah, I don't care. They got good players. This is my concern. Well, actually, I don't know if it would be the concern now. He might be a little bit older now in the process. But the problem I have with Ken Dorsey as Cam Newton's quarterback coach is that we're too close in age. Cam Newton was 25 and Ken Dorsey was like 27. And Ken Dorsey was unaccomplished. Right? Like he had a couple of years, I think, at Florida State or wherever he was at. I can't remember the school. One of those Florida schools. But I just didn't feel like he commanded the respect necessary for a guy like Cam. I wanted a guy like Norv Turner to be the quarterback's coach. I think that Steve Logan, a great quarterback, he's been an important quarterback's coach for the 49ers with Alex Smith, but he was the head coach for the ECU Pirates. That's why I like his name. I just felt like it's too much peer-to-peer when it was Cam Newton and Ken Dorsey, to where it was like, even if you're talking the right shit, you're like, bro, you ain't ever been on these streets. That's what I felt like Cam was telling him. I don't know if he's like, why? Why do you want him to be the head coach? Like, why? Like, what the fuck has he done? He's done nothing.
So I mean, I've watched.
Nothing. Bum.
I've watched the Bills this year. They have
Yeah.
a good team, and I like.
Were
their
they good
concept.
last year?
But listen, okay, but Tony, you're actually making my point that none of these offensive coordinators, none of these offensive play coordinators are going to be good on their own terms. You have to have the players to put around them, because it doesn't matter what offensive coordinator, what head coach you have. If you don't have a good team around them, they're not going to look great. If you give Ken Dorsey an opportunity to build an offense around our talented players and get him an actual quarterback that can make all the throws. I mean, listen, I would want a younger guy rather than someone that might be retiring in the next 20, 30 years. I want an offensive mind that can relate to our players. I want another Mike McDaniels. How about that?
How about this?
I know everyone's talking shit about that guy. I like Mike McDaniels.
I have the fairy tale thing. All right. This is how this is all playing out right now.
I can't mess with this.
Matt Rhule gets fired. Ken Dorsey gets hired as the head coach. Okay. But when Matt Rhule goes, so does Scott Fitterer. But they don't hire a brand new GM. They just slide our assistant GM up the ladder, keeping in-house some Panthers royalty in here. And because you got a guy that Cam was familiar with, not that he's coming back to play, but he will come back and retire as a Panther, and we'll have the fairy tale ending, and the Matt Rhule era will just be a blip on the fucking radar. Boom. Amen.
All right.
Let's go.
Next call.
Hey guys, hope you're having a good night. After just the game Sunday with how bad Baker was playing, I mean, I think we're all just kind of thinking about the draft, the future right now. We all pretty much know the season is over. You know, we may sneak in maybe 2 or 3 more wins. I hope not, because I want us to get the number 1 overall picks and draft the quarterbacks. But as far as now, I think Baker's the number 1 problem, coupled with Ben McAdoo. And I agree with what Tony was saying with Rhule being more of a systemic issue. I totally agree with that. It's just like some of the decisions he's made as far as quarterback play or position, who we picked, who we brought in for our quarterback. But Baker is just obviously not it. Ben McAdoo is not able to adjust to the issues that Baker's having to try to hide some of those issues. But we all know that Rhule is going to be fired this year. It's just a matter of when. Is it going to be at the end of the year? Is it the middle of the year? I wouldn't be mad, honestly, if Bill Snow, or whoever the head coach is that we picked up, if they kept Bill Snow. I highly doubt we would because that's Rhule's right-hand man. But Bill Snow has been pretty good defensive coordinator, and the players play really well. They've been in position to succeed. Some of the things I feel like he's kind of growing in being able to adapt the things that we have struggled with. We've kind of changed, in my opinion. But I really think Scott Fitterer should stay as the GM. I really like what he's done. There have been some questionable, but at the same time, I truly believe that Matt Rhule was the final decision maker. So I think we should really, I believe we should give Scott a fair shot, pick his head coach. But it's going to be tough with whoever the head coach is, with the cap issues and the draft picks that we're lacking. We're going to have to trade some players for draft picks, I truly believe, to get draft capital and to save some money as well. But the whole talk, I think, for the rest of the season, honestly, is just the future as far as who our head coach is going to be and then who we're going to pick in the draft. Is it going to be C.J. Stroud? Let's just say we are the number one pick. Is it C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young? Right now, I'm pro C.J. Stroud. Just like with his recent games, the last several games, he's been a little better than Bryce Young. I think.
Oh.
He was cut off, or was that you?
He was, but we're going to keep going to the calls because we got a lot. We're going to keep pushing through. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's go.
Bryce Young.
Hey, guys, it's Tyler. Sorry, I guess my phone cut out earlier. But the last point I was just going to make was with, let's just assume that we're the number one overall pick in the upcoming draft here next year. Who do we want? Do we want C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young? And I think that's going to be the topic the rest of the season with us. I really think that we're going to be in the top two, maybe three as far as the draft order. And right now, I think I'm leaning towards C.J. Stroud, but I wouldn't be mad with Bryce Young either. But it's just, with his injury and the rest.
Tony, I won't take
I'm going to stop him there because there's two calls.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is go online and look up C.J. Stroud, look up some of his highlights, but also look at some of his interviews. Listen to this young man talk about football. Listen to this man's leadership. Like, do some digging on C.J. Stroud. This guy is the guy. I'm already comfortable. I know there's some other really good quarterbacks in this draft. I'm already comfortable calling C.J. Stroud QB1 of this year's draft. He's like that.
Let's go to the next call.
Greetings again, guys. This is Jay. Always again want to.
Oh, what's up, Jay? He must have cut out.
Did he say again, though? All right. We'll try it.
Say I appreciate you guys, and to everybody else out there, subscribe to the C3 Panther podcast, best Panther podcast, at least on YouTube, that's for sure, and no doubt about that.
Oh my god!
That said, I got to disagree with you guys a little bit. Not really. I mean, it's not that anything you guys are saying is wrong per se. I just got to defend my boy real quick. I'm a longtime Baker Mayfield fan, and the thing is, through 4 games he stinks for sure. No doubt about it. I'm not even going to begin to say that he hasn't stunk up the place in the last 4 games. And I also didn't like the last press conference, although I think it was a little bit harsh to say he's blaming everybody else. I thought that his taking responsibility was actually a lot better compared to where he was in Cleveland. The thing I didn't like is the whole, I don't care if they boo thing. Because it's like, well, you wouldn't say that unless you obviously did care that they booed. Or his, did we go down and score a touchdown after they booed? Yes, that was also kind of like, all right, I understand it's frustrating, but you can't be, indignant at people when you're not playing very well. With that being said, and I am not chastising any of these players as bad, because I have said a lot, and I'll say again, I think this roster is way more talented than it plays. But we do have a ridiculous amount of drop passes if you go through the last 4 weeks. I swear there's, I watch a lot of these football games. I like to keep up so I can do analytics and stuff like that. I don't think off the top of my head, I don't think anybody is dropping as many passes as the Carolina Panthers receivers are dropping passes. And some of these are like really big deals, right? Like last week, there was a big drop by, I can't remember who it was, but I'm fairly certain it was actually in the end zone. I want to kind of go back and remember what exactly the play was because I'm a little foggy on it right now. I'm pretty busy at work. Kind of shouldn't be calling here. Not that you guys asked. Anyways, there was Shi Smith dropping in the red zone against the Giants. That was a pretty big deal. There was 5 drops in the first game alone. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, we might be the only team that's even hit double-digit drops, to be honest with you. And obviously that's, it's not to say that Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore and these guys can't play, but it is to say, Baker looking terrible isn't all on Baker. We've also had terrible play calling, right? A very awful play calling. We only ran Christian McCaffrey 10 times in the first game. We've been having Baker do a lot of the traditional drop back kind of stuff, throwing the football 36 times here in the last game, even though it's never been his strength. He's always been best when.
Good call. A lot of detail in there. But at the same time,
I didn't know if the machine cut him off or if you cut him off because
no, I didn't call. Let me see. Hold on. Let me check the numbers. Let me see. This is the same person. We only got one person, one call. Let's see. Got to keep it 3 minutes.
It's G, baby.
Oh,
and I have a lot to say.
What up, G?
Cam Newton never did this to us, man. Cam Newton never in a million years would Cam Newton do this to us. And half of the fan base shits on that man. I knew we was going to get this shit from Baker Mayfield, man. It's fucking pathetic. It's bullshit. I want to talk about
Hope you're feeling better, G.
firing Scott Fitter. We need to fire Matt Rhule. Complete rebuild. We have to keep DJ Moore and Dante Jackson. We have to keep somewhat. As far as Brian Burns, I don't think we'll be able to re-sign him, man. I just don't see it happening. Same with Jeremy Chin. I want Jeremy Chin to stay, but are they going to want to stay in Carolina? If Matt Rhule and them are still here, that's what you have to fucking think about. And there's another thing that we're not talking about. Panther Nation, C3 podcast, I need you guys to listen to me. The Saints are 1-3. The Saints are in prime position to take one of those QBs right now. For some odd reason, we always have a team in the NFC South to fuck up our draft and jump in front of us and ruin everything. Every Saint fan I talk to, we're only a QB away. Bruh. They are in win mode now. Win now mode. If they get CJ Stroud or Bryce Young or any of these top QBs, Caleb Williams, Quinn Ewers, bruh. That's what Panther fans need to think about because the Saints, they know how to tank the right way. Loomis, he knows what the fuck he needs to do to get draft picks. Boys, we have to sell our assets. We only have 4 draft picks. And Tony, I'm going to get on your ass, bruh. I'm going to get on your ass because you the same motherfucker that said, oh, draft picks after the 3rd round don't matter. What the fuck is that, Tony? What are you talking about, bro? So what about all these players that were in the SEC first team, DBs, linebackers, etc., that fell to the 4th, 5th, 6th? So that doesn't matter, G? We're in rebuild mode, bro. No one's going to come to Carolina. We have to build through the draft. We have to, man. Build through the draft. 6 coaches I want to give to you guys. Deion Sanders, Peyton Manning, Jim Harbaugh, Josh Flores, and Brian Leftwich. Imagine putting a fucking... A lot of motherfuckers are going to...
Bruh.
Dude, so
Bruh.
hey, hold on, but before you go, I'll let you respond, Tony. Two things. If G Baby seemed low energy to you, my man said on the Friday free for all, he's been dealing with COVID for over 3 weeks now. I know that's hell. I'm sorry, brother. Hope you get well soon. And then number two, and I'll leave it to y'all. I'm tired of telling G Baby he's wrong. I'm tired of telling G Baby he's wrong. Because you know what? Every single fucking year, G Baby comes in here with the smoke, with the energy, telling everybody what it is, and everyone wants to say, "Oh, G Baby, you're an Atlanta fan. Oh, you're a Cam nut hugger." All this different bullshit. And yet every year, what are we saying? G kind of had a point, didn't he? So you know what, G? Talk your shit, bro. Talk your shit. I'm all
Hey,
for it.
hey. You know who the fuck it is. It's Tony
G-Baby.
Dunn. It's the professor. And I've always said that G Baby brings the passion. Even though he sounded like a sick little dying COVID puppy. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better, bro. Bro, everybody's been look. Wait, hold on.
Bruh.
Everybody has been saying,
Bruh.
take a Xanax. And it just took G Baby to get COVID and almost die for him to be like, oh, I'm going to talk to you in a regular voice.
Heat
But
for the Panthers. I love it.
this motherfucker always brings passion, always brings energy, and always brings a take to me that if you find it in the middle, makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's an extremist. He's the guy that's making the pamphlet for the politician that they're going to mail to you in the mailer that's going to get you fired up.
Right.
He's promising revolution.
He does. But G Baby, I always find this is the truth kind of resonates somewhere in the middle with him. So I always feel like he brings these takes that make people sour, mad. But there's a strong logic underneath, a current of logic. But at the same, look, why do you got to do that, G Baby? Bring up the fact that imagine if the Saints got the quarterback we wanted. What kind of fucking terrible disaster ass shit is that?
I did want to talk about this a little bit. Like, imagine how frustrating it would be if we needed the quarterback so badly, and yet either the Falcons or the Saints swept him out
Or
from
Tom
under us.
Brady and the fucking Buccaneers.
Dude, it's just that's like the worst nightmare is us losing out on our guy and him going to the division rival for the next who knows how many years, man. But I will say this though, like if people are gonna get mad at me, I am not opposed to blowing the whole thing up if it continues to go south, and that means even trading the players that I don't want to trade. I don't want to trade a soul on this team. Even Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, stop being a bitch.
Nah,
now you're a
shut up.
bitch. No,
I want
now
Christian
you're the
McCaffrey to be running fucking yards this season for my Carolina Panthers, okay? But the fact that it's not going to happen, I can either live in reality or I can live in my made-up la la land.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
And it's not going to happen. If it's time to trade players, then G Baby's 100% right. If we're at the middle of the season and everything's bad, fucking move on. Get draft picks. It's time.
All right, let's go. Let's kill these calls real quick.
Hey guys, it's the growl that makes them howl, aka Joey the Blind Panther. And guess what? Not only am I not feeling any better about the team after 2 days have gone by, I'm actually feeling worse. Because I watched the San Francisco 49ers game last night, and they done put it on the Rams. It's in your title. I know y'all watched it. That play calling was awesome. You can say whatever you want about Jimmy G. You say, oh, he's just mediocre. He's a game manager. Yeah, but you know what? He fucking won 24-9. He did what he needed to do. And yeah, he's got more weapons. But guess who has weapons? Baker Mayfield. But you know what Baker Mayfield doesn't have? A coach. You don't have a coach. We got a loser. And I was on the Greenway today, and I ran into a friend. I said, did you watch the game? She goes, nah. And you know what I told her? I said, that was the best decision you probably made this week. Because it was bad. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. It was a damn disgrace. It was shameful to play like that in front of Sam Mills' family when we were supposed to be honoring Sam Mills. That's no way to honor somebody. I said that on Sunday, and I said it again because I still feel that way. I mean, it was awful. It was terrible. And you know what? The Niners have a similarly talented roster to us, it seems like to me. But yeah, my friend on the Greenwood was saying, that coach needs to go. Matt Rhule needs to go because, the every player on the field, including the quarterback, is a reflection of the coach. And he is stubborn as hell, and he doesn't know what he's doing. And if you don't have a leader, things aren't going to happen. You got to believe in your leader. And you know what I said? I told her point blank. I said, well, we can't believe in our leader because we don't have a leader. Anyway, guys. Wow.
I wanted Jimmy over Baker.
Oh, stop.
I did.
Really?
I remember you asked me, hey, who would be rather,
Not me.
Baker Mayfield
Not
or
me.
Jimmy Garoppolo? And everybody was like, oh, Baker Mayfield. I'm like, nah, Jimmy's been to a fucking Super Bowl.
Jimmy is
Now,
a
I don't
bum.
think he's going to put you over the edge either, but I would prefer him to Baker.
All right. CK, what do you think?
I mean, it's hard to argue
Is it
against Jimmy.
revisionist?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's easy to look in the rear view and think that, oh, we should have gone that way to begin with. Like Jimmy Garoppolo, in all honesty, even if you look at his stats, like, yes, he's gone to the Super Bowl, but he's also not been the reason that they've gone to the Super Bowl. The benefit is they've gone to the Super Bowl with him playing almost mediocre at times. He hasn't been a world beater. Like, quite honestly, he's probably, I would say, maybe a top 25 quarterback, but he's not in the top half of the quarterback.
See, we're missing the wrong. We're looking at the wrong metric, Cody.
I would take him over Kirk
Fuck
Cousins.
that. I don't care. No, dummy. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. It's 2 wins, dude. At least Jimmy Garoppolo is
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
I
You
guarantee
give me
you.
that soundboard? No.
You're doing that soundboard,
I'm going crazy. No, I got to tell you about this. Is I don't like this comparison of just Baker to Baker to Jimmy or whatever. Is Kyle Shanahan is the card.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is there's a difference.
Yeah. Imagine if you would put Baker on that team. You don't think he's getting
Guys,
more out of it?
I'm not saying to you Jimmy's a franchise like world saver quarterback. I'm saying that when picking between Jimmy and Baker, Jimmy has a much better pedigree than Baker.
Right.
And
Do you
there's a
think
more
that Kyle
consistent
Shanahan would agree?
Yes.
Ouch.
Dude,
Ouch.
fuck Baker.
That
No one
quick?
fucking likes this. Dude, how about this? We were talking Sam's only going to be a backup for the rest of his career. Yeah, so is Baker. They've both lost their opportunity in the NFL.
All right, let's go to the next call. Chuck
Here's
from
the thing. Keep in mind too. I don't think that they value what Baker brings to the table. Like they didn't go after a short, athletic quarterback in the draft either.
Who?
The 49ers. They didn't go
Well,
after
they're
a
not
short,
going to
athletic,
trade for a
unathletic.
quarterback on the final year of his quarter. You know, like it's kind of just a swap.
I
Like they're
guess
not
you
going to
get his point.
court him.
They
They're
were
not
going to
going to
move
court
on with
him.
Trey Lance. Like they wanted to move on from Jimmy G,
Well,
which is a
and-
good, you know.
And Jimmy G is a better thrower than, I mean, at least from an accuracy standpoint, it's a better thrower. I would say they're probably a similar athletic build at this point in time. The difference is that Jimmy Garoppolo has a better height, which means that, guess what? He can probably see the field a little bit better and not have the issues that we're having with Baker Mayfield right now.
Let's just say this. If Kyle Shanahan was the coach of our team,
thank God,
I don't think we would be 1-3.
Oh, no.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan is
probably-
the reason their offenses are nasty as fuck. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's
well,
incredible.
He plays in rhythm. He
All right.
plays like he's supposed to.
Next goal.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City, aka Carolina Sports Guy.
What up, Chuck?
And I just kind of wanted to give y'all a little thought here. I'm not a religious man, although I am well versed in the Bible and been to church several times. But kind of look at being a Panthers fan right now in this franchise, being like the Old Testament. You know, we're like the children of Israel. You know, we're walking around the wilderness for 40 years, you know, lost. And God, I guess I'm going to say the football God, have tried to tell us to be patient or how to do things and how to run an organization and what not to do. And we try to take these shortcuts and these Band-Aids and hire glamour coaches and try to get players who were once good and no more. Or try to throw money at every quarterback who didn't work out for one franchise or another, and we think we're going to turn them around or whatever it may be, guys. And whether it be free agency, draft, trades, coaches that we hire, schemes we run, no matter what we do not follow a simple football plan by the football gods. Take us out of this wilderness and be winners. We kept walking around this wilderness for 40 years with all these plagues going in circles, being punished by the football gods because we do not listen. Because we're looking for simple solutions. We want this quarterback. We should have got Garoppolo. We shouldn't have done this. We should have kept Cam. We should have brought him back. We should have drafted Malik Willis. We should have done this. We should have went after this free agent. We should have went after that free agent. We should have kept this guy on. Oh, look at Bradbury doing well for the Eagles. Oh, my God, we shouldn't have kept Shaq Thompson. Whatever it may be, guys, it's like with all these coaches around. We keep walking around in this desert, in this wilderness of this losing abysmal until we finally just put our heads down and work hard and understand it takes time to build this franchise the right way, and there are no quick fixes. If you cannot stay with this team and go through these hard times, like the Lions fans, like the Browns fans, like some of these teams who have suffered for years, if you're not willing to ride the ride, then get the fuck off the bus. We'll come out of this wilderness. It's just going to take time.
Finish him.
Love it. Chuck is the man, dude. He always is. And that's why I have no problem blowing this all up if need be. You have to do it the right way, man. There's no shortcuts. David Tepper wanted to come in here, sling his $1 billion dick around, and try and get on the fast track to becoming a Super Bowl contender. Well, it doesn't matter how many billions of dollars you have. You have to build this shit the right way. And
I don't think we fast tracked a Super Bowl contender.
Well, obviously,
I think we just mediocred it the whole way. We didn't do. I don't know. I feel like he didn't want to lose. Like he almost just wanted to. Do you really think David Tepper is the problem?
I think he is a problem and a very, very big one.
A problem. That's a great way of putting it.
And how could you trust him to make the right decision at coach next time? Dude, I can totally foresee a scenario where they hire Dan Quinn to be the next fucking head coach
I
of
don't
the
want
Panthers.
to. I can't do that.
No one does. No one does. Tell me fucking no one does.
Can't do that.
But yet, how could we trust that David Tepper would
Might as
make
well
that
hire
hire?
Ron Rivera back.
Yeah. It's like, okay, let's get the coach that authored the greatest choke in the history of sports.
No,
Okay,
well, you know what?
fucking cool
Or
story.
rode the coach, or ultimately couldn't survive being a head coach while Kyle Shanahan left. That's the point. Is Dan Quinn wasn't a bad head coach. He just wasn't a good head coach without Kyle Shanahan running his offense.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
he's a
he's
good
like a
defensive
fine.
coordinator.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
I'd say a really good defensive coordinator. But that's it.
But Kyle Shanahan left. And once
Yeah,
Kyle Shanahan left, it was over.
Yeah.
And that's kind of in fact, maybe the most interesting head coach right now in the league is Sean McDermott. Because he's the one defensive coach who is defying this model. Dabo, like, who was the head? I mean,
Dabo.
Dabo.
Also, I don't know what you think about the Chargers, but they have a pretty good offense, and their head coach is also
he stinks right now. To be honest, he's a
2-2.
great talker. No, I love him.
Hurt.
I will listen to him forever. I would love him. He has already won. He's already wooed me.
Give me.
But at the end of the day, he ain't done
day.
shit.
Yeah, I know that's true. I would take him over a lot of some of these other.
Sure, but that's just because you like the way he talks.
There was the thing that sucks about Brandon Staley is that he actually caused their team to lose multiple times last year, and that was directly associated with coaching decisions.
I see why you said that, but I also like the idea of, I'll bet on my team in fucking any 4th and 1. That's my team. That's my guys. I got the best quarterback in the league. You know, he would think so, and why wouldn't he? You know,
right? But he became a slave to the analytics, right? And like, as much as analytics are a big part of this, I think it's also true. It can be true to say that analytics are a crutch, right? For somebody who maybe doesn't want to be like, it's easier to put that on somebody else that they've made the decision that analytics tell me I did the right thing here, so it's not my fault.
Let's get through these final 4 calls.
This is G, baby. I want you guys to listen to me. I want you guys to imagine this, man. Because this is what we have to look forward to. I don't think Matt Rhule, there's no way he's going to make it. Imagine, I always listen to Eli and Peyton when they're doing the commentary for these Monday night games, man. Imagine fucking Peyton Manning having one of these young QBs to mentor. Getting a QB like fucking Cam Newton to be the bridge and just to be a mentor. Bruh, that would be disgusting. With the defense we have on the other side of the ball, Peyton Manning mentoring a Bryce Young or fucking CJ Stroud or Caleb Williams or Quinn Ewers, or even turning around Jim Harbaugh, man. Like, what the fuck? Josh Flores, Eric Bieniemy. But we have to tank and we have to sell our assets. Christian McCaffrey has to go. Robbie Anderson has to go. Taylor Moton has to go. This is the only way we can salvage this shit. We have 4 picks. That's not gonna cut it. We ain't shit. We soft as fucking Charmin, man. Shout out to motherfucking C-Dog, man. Hey, man, we got a long season ahead of us,
boy, bro.
I'm telling you. I said we was a 2.
G baby. Again, another example of G baby, the truth in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean, it kind of sounds long shot. They say those who can't do teach. Well, Peyton Manning could do. So would he be a good teacher or a good critic? I don't know. But hey, It's not the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
But
if you'd be willing to do it, I wouldn't be opposed. But
right.
he
But
wants
at
to
the end
host
of the day,
game
he
shows.
was right about the 4 picks.
Oh yeah, and that's
You know?
that's another reason why I'm like, if this is gonna get bad, fucking there's a fire, dude. Come be a part of it.
And I think we have to go ahead and start asking this question. Not asking this question, but for me, Cody, you have been far more defensive of this and a defender
Yeah.
of this individual. But I think when Matt Rhule goes, I think it's time. You know what? I'm done with Scott Fitterer. And I'm sorry. It might be the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah.
It might be. But at the end of the day, either he is a patsy, either he is a pawn, a pussy. I'm going to give you 3 more P words. I just came up with, how did I come up with 3 P words? Patsy, pawn, pussy, right here. He's part of it. His fingerprints are on this conspiracy of 3 failed quarterbacks or whatever, whether he was wanting to be that person or not. He's involved with it. He's a conspirator. He is an aider and abetter. And you look at Terrace Marshall Jr. not getting any play. Might be the biggest fucking fail. He's like the biggest draft bust for the Carolina Panthers since Dwayne Johnson.
Right.
Dwayne Jarrett, excuse me.
How
do you defend him? He's your boy, bro.
No, okay, so look, I would still like to see this man without the roadblocks of Matt Rhule. But I also get your point too. It's like even if he just laid down and died and did what he told like a good little boy, then it's like I don't like that lack of a spine type of mentality either. So even though I'm not calling for him to go, I'm not even gonna fight you, man. Like if it's gonna happen, fuck, just do it now. Do it now and move on to someone different. I would like to see him get an opportunity still, because I do think that Matt Rhule has been the biggest roadblock into him building the team the way he actually sees fit. But I'm not gonna fight it.
All right, next call.
Hi, this is Kyle, otherwise known as 910 Panther fan, calling from Wilmington. First of all, love the show, love everything, love the content. You guys are great. But here's my thing. The players, I mean, there's a lot of good players on the team, man, and I feel like they're going to do they're limited to what the coaches give them. So I feel like at the end of the season, it's got to go. Something's got to change, you know. I mean, maybe Fitz has done enough to earn his spot, but usually the coach and the GM go all at the same time. If Tepper's smart anyways, because he's a businessman. So, but that's my piece. Like I said, love the content. Love the show.
Appreciate you, man. Awesome.
You know what I hate about this?
Go ahead.
Is this feels like the end of the year.
Ooh,
show.
people are telling you like you're nice to us.
Well, no, like it's just the end of the year. Like we're talking about who's going to be the next up and who, like we're getting rid of we're going to need to do we get rid of Fitterer or do we do like instead of talking about what's going on with the team right now, we're like
the Niners.
Right, let's look at the 2023 season and see what we can do. Like, and we're 4 weeks in, like we're less than 25% done.
Besides, we shouldn't have been here at this point already.
That's why I think that we're justified being mean as fuck.
Oh, dude, we could say whatever we want about this team
David
right
Tepper. Fuck Matt Rhule.
I mean, you can say whatever you want about them.
Dude. Like,
this is the worst possible start for them they could have imagined. Not for us. This ain't us imagining the worst possible start. This is them imagining the worst possible start.
Right.
Because we really should be, if we looked at the schedule, we thought we should beat the Browns and the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And have
the Cardinals even. For that
no,
matter.
I mean, but I thought we would be 2-2 right now, maybe. And
We thought if we didn't win 2 out of those first 4, the season's done. Like we were like, we have to win.
Right.
Like 3 would have been the best case scenario in our minds. But if we didn't win at least 2, we're done because we have a murderer's row of games left. And there is a real chance that we go winless for the rest of the year.
Here's the thing, though, is that despite all of these challenges for the last couple of years, we have more and more people calling in saying they love the content, they love the show, they love the community. So
they love the 3 hours.
Yeah, smash the thumbs up button. Be a part of the community. Look, we got people donating tickets. They're giving. We're not doing it. They're doing it. We got friends. C3 fans are giving tickets to other C3 fans. It's incredible. Look, this is what we have been trying to build the entire time. Unfortunately, Baker Mayfield, Matt Rhule, and David Tepper are trying to tear us down, but they're not going to. They will not go to. Here, let's go to the next call.
Hi, this is Kyle, otherwise known as 910 Panther fan, calling from Wilmington.
Was that one? Did we already hear that one? I thought.
I believe, yeah, we did from Wilmington.
Okay. All right. Oh.
Tony, Cody, CK. I'm going to say something. Tell me if you feel sorry for David Tepper. This is a guy who spent $2.2 billion for a team, and this is what he has to show for it. Sure, he's a jackass. Sure, he's dirty. He's corrupt. He's a scumbag. A billionaire jackoff who's an incompetent owner. But tell me, do you in the least feel sorry for him?
No.
That he paid $2.2 billion for this dumpster fire, effed up the Rock Hill, his development, alienated fans. The guy's got no hope. Do you feel any sympathy for him? Bye-bye.
No sympathy for a guy who did everything himself. Like, this is all the hand of David Tepper. Everything that has happened, it is of David Tepper's own doing. I feel no sorrow for a guy that has made the choices that he has that's led this team to where it's at now.
Same. Ditto. How could I, man? It's
Yeah.
like,
How are you going to feel sorry for someone who's worth billions of dollars?
you made your bed. You sleep in it.
The Rock Hill situation, he made his bed, right? Like, he tried to go about it that way. It didn't work out. But, hey, listen, at the end of the day, shit hits the fan, right? Here's the thing I do want to say. I am not of the mind, like, I don't think David Tepper came in here with the mindset he was going to fuck the team, right? I think he's probably just as disappointed with what's going on as we are, right? We can be upset with his decision-making, but from a personal standpoint, we've got to keep in mind, this was not like, I think it's easy for us to attack him, but it's not like he did this with the intention of this team being garbage, right? And so I think there's something to be at least said about that. He does want this team to succeed. It would be stupid for him not to. And the same thing goes for all the other people, right? So I'm not to the point where I'm ready to just say, start name calling. But when he's like, what I did not like, and I think is important that we acknowledge, is David Tepper, when he said that the basement fans, the ones that are the most passionate, who
That's
say
where
that,
it is.
That's where David Tepper lost my support.
Yes,
Entirely.
me too. Me too. Is I thought he was just a billionaire bitch. You know what I'm saying? Which I can like. Hey, you got enough money. You can buy whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
You can do whatever you want. But when you start talking shit about the people who pay your bills, I'm sorry. Like that one rubbed me more than anything. CK.
Yeah.
Basement,
I agree.
Basement fans, like at the end of the day, you're a 16 billionaire. I don't know what that number is, but you're worth $16 billion. I call him
Mr. Burns. What's the dude from The Simpsons? Mr. Burns?
Yes.
That's who he is.
No, Mr. Burns.
I felt like he was actually secretly a nice guy, Mr. Burns. Like, I feel like he's better than David Tepper.
Probably so.
Well, I think Mr. Burns almost had a plan, and he actually saw it. Like, he actually was able to see like value. Like, I think he had a little more vision than David Tepper. David Tepper, I think, has been very, I don't know, it feels very surface. Everything he's done has been just surface level. Like, I'm gonna change the logo. I'm gonna do this. And honestly, there's another thing that I think we got to talk about too that we haven't talked about up to this point, and that is I know it's a business, but for a team that is struggling with maintaining fandom, they have really created a pay to play type of mentality where you could normally go and watch the players come into the you could do that for free. Like, you just stand on the street, watch. They've turned that into, you pay $300 and you can come stand here now. Right? Like, let's go ahead and talk about changing the culture. When you make decisions like that, you are blatantly throwing your middle finger up to the people that can't afford to go to the game as it is, that try to get any type of interaction with the team that they possibly can in a manner that may be considered free, right? And then you're going to throw that shit out there? Like, and the thing is every single one of the people that are going to pay for that are these, like, the reality is they're going to be the people who are well off. A lot of times they're going to be corporate people who don't really have any business. Like,
dude, guess what? They already lost them.
Bruh.
They already lost them.
Bruh.
For real. They're going to lose them. They already did. It costs $16 now, finally, to go to a Carolina Panthers game.
And that was only because of the hurricane.
Is that why?
Yeah, that was the
okay. Oh my God. Because this is what I was upset about with this David Tepper administration. It's not him entirely, but we know he's not just a fan, or he's trying to make money.
That's what I think is we've got to keep in mind. This is a money thing for him. It's
I could have gone to a Saints Panthers game last year in New Orleans. Now, granted, New Orleans is a city where there's a lot to do other than go to the game. And it was either the day after New Year. It was either New Year's, like it was 2 days after, 2 days before New Year's Eve. So it wasn't a New Year. Like, who's going to go to a football game on New Year's Eve? I think it was New Year's Day. Either way, it was cheaper for me ultimately to fly to New Orleans and sit in the lower bowl than to drive and sit in the lower bowl at Carolina last year.
Yeah.
And we stink.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not good. I mean, that's the thing that I think is...
It's too expensive.
It's
too expensive.
And you've got to keep in mind, too, David Tepper is 100% a Steelers fan. Like, I don't care what you think about it. He bought this team.
You can't say that anymore. You can't own a team. If he's a Steelers fan, that's no.
No. Here's the thing. Let's be real about it. He grew up for how old is David Tepper? He's been a Steelers fan for 5 decades of his life. Just because he bought this team doesn't mean he doesn't root for that team still. This is a money grab for him. You got to keep in mind, we've been in here. We've been a part of this organization for longer than he has. We care more about the Panthers than he ever will care about the Panthers. He cares about the money. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care about the Panthers. He doesn't care about how fucking horrible we feel outside of the fact that it hurts his bottom dollar. That's all he cares about. Like, that is what the Panthers are to him. He wanted to fulfill a dream of owning a team, and he did. And now he's just like, it's about the money. If win the Super Bowl, great. But guess what? If he's making money, he's making money. It doesn't matter. And he's clear he doesn't give a shit about us.
All right. Interesting. You know what? Here, billionaire problems. Problems. But here is one thing I would... Here, we got the next call. And this is something on my mind, is how much inflation is finally catching up with the regular person. So like when you're talking about the billionaire, so people are in here saying in the chat like, hey, money grab. How can you money grab when you're a 16 billionaire?
Why do billionaires
Well,
still
yeah,
buy
actually you
businesses?
can. Yeah, that is. He
Why do
did buy
billionaires
that.
still
Yeah,
work?
and now they're worth 4 billion more than whatever they were.
He wanted Steelers South, but the problem is he didn't know how to build Steelers South.
I just am interested in when the consumer economy is gonna, or the pressures are going to. Will the NFL ever be affected by it? I guess is my question, because the viewership of the NFL is always going up.
Yeah,
the participation in PrizePicks, use the code C3, that type of stuff, always going up. But as inflation occurs, as a team like the Carolina Panthers struggles, does he see a loss in revenue in house? You would think it has to be. And I've been going to the grocery store. I have a bunch of kids. I do a lot of grocery shopping for our family. Inflation is up. At what point do you cut it out? I don't know. It's a big deal. And I'm not going to feel sorry about billionaires anymore. I'm so tired of it. I, at times, have felt myself going, oh, am I being too hard on Matt Rhule? And then I go, wait a second. I have $64 in my bank account. And he has 64 million. So shut the fuck up. Not you. David Tepper. Matt Rhule. Next call. There's only one more after this.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? It's Zach from Kannapolis. I've been sitting there thinking, I was like, hold on, let me pause y'all real quick. Anyway, I've been thinking, and I think we're going to have to roll with Sam Darnold. Honestly, I think Matt Corral can show us something. I mean, we still got him, but he got to sit. You know what I'm saying? He hurt. He hurt right now. Sam Darnold hurt. It's weird, like they take out our two. I don't know. I still, y'all know how I think about Cam and all that, and everything. But there's no way Mayfield's gonna cut this shit off. I mean, this guy is just, I don't know. He's a clown, bro. I call him a clown. I always will. I never liked him in Cleveland. He ain't, hell, put in PJ Walker that game. I mean, just something. I mean, anything, bro, just to change the atmosphere. I don't know. But I know the fans don't like him. And I thought it was very, very rude that he told the press that he said he didn't give a fuck, basically. I mean, you didn't hear Cam saying that. He took full blame for the whole team, and our defense is carrying this team. And I just hope for better days.
All right, man. Good call. Next call. My bastard son.
Hey. White chocolate espresso. What's happening, people? Let me give my opinion on who I think the next head coach would be. I want the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. Look what that man's been doing.
Staley, bro.
I don't even know his fucking name.
Deuce
But my
Staley.
God, Detroit's the best scoring team right now in the NFL with Jared Goff at quarterback. That's what type of person I want as the next head coach. Somebody who has done less or done more with less. I think the Cowboys offense, what's his name? Kellen Moore. Another guy I like. Someone like that who's done more with less. But at the end of the day, we're not getting any of those guys. We're not getting an offensive coordinator as a head coach. We're getting the Cowboys defensive coordinator, the ex-Falcons head coach, who was once with the Seattle Seahawks, Dan Quinn. I guarantee you, he will be the next head coach for Carolina. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. He's done great things with the Cowboys on defense. He's
done wonders for Michael Parsons. He did get the Falcons to the Super Bowl, even though they choked, but they got there, you know. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be someone who has been a head coach before. But yeah, those are my thoughts. And peace.
That's terrible. That's why I don't admit he's my son. Because he believes that
That's why I didn't pay child support.
Jesus Christ. No, Deuce Staley. One of the things that the Detroit Lions have scored the most points in the entire NFL through 4, and they have also given up the most points through 4. It's crazy. Jared Goff, bro. Jared Goff has been slaying, homie. I sat him this past week, and I put in Russell instead. My man had 4 touchdowns. They lost, and they scored 45 points. How you do that? I don't know. If we get Dan Quinn, we're just kind of back to the old John Fox, Ron Rivera days.
I mean, here's my question. Is there not going to need to be aren't we in a cyclical type of situation where we either have like these crazy offenses, but then we get to where these crazy defenses kind of come up from out of nowhere because of it? Right. You know, so isn't there something to be said about trying to fight these crazy offenses with an incredible defense?
No.
Okay.
We've just done it before, man. I want to do something new, and I want to do what is being proven to be successful in the NFL right now. Get the guy that you trust running the offense for the next 10 years. Then you get a quarterback to pair with that
Name
coach.
me a defensive coach. Name me a defensive coach that has had sustained success in the league. And I don't mean just a winning record like Mike Tomlin. I mean competitive playoff success.
Probably McDermott. Well, I mean, probably McDermott now.
We don't even have a long enough sample set, basically.
They
what
went
do you
to
mean
the playoffs
sustained
2
success?
years.
Yeah, I mean they gone to the playoffs isn't every time he's been every year that he's been there, right?
Yeah, even before the
You're
Josh
talking about
Allen
it like a
made that
generational. What I'm talking about is someone who can survive different quarterbacks, who can survive.
He did. He took Tyrod Taylor. He took Tyrod Taylor to the playoffs for the first time in the Bills since they went to the Super Bowl in the 90s. Like you're looking at Sean McDermott's history in the Bills is worth acknowledging. That
he was with us in 2015.
He was with us, yes. And he left in 20.
He's only had 6 years of experience. What I'm saying is this: is that decade-long success, which I think is what we're kind of talking about. Is we could have given. Well, I would say we could have given Ron Rivera, Cam Newton. We would have had a decade-long success, and we didn't. But we didn't.
What would you say?
Seriously, I just don't know.
What would you say Bill Belichick is?
That is the one I was wondering about, because we don't know without Tom Brady. He hasn't done shit without Tom Brady. Not shit.
You need everything.
And I think he's one of the best. I think he's the best defensive coach there is. Like, he knows how to take away. Like, that's why he was so good with Tom Brady. Like, he basically made Tom Brady his offensive coach. Like, he would have worked great. Tom Dungy and Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying?
Tony Dungy, yeah.
Tony, yeah. Thank you.
I don't know how you forgot that one.
I'm just going back to this. Is that like, is Belichick might just be the greatest coach who had a great quarterback. I don't know. I think Andy Reid. All right. Who said this? Are you tired?
Huh?
Cody?
Let's add some fools up.
We got to do our
Let's
picks
ice
as well.
rules up.
No, man, I'm gonna keep you up all night. You want to talk about House of the Dragon?
Yeah. And
This
that was the
week's
best show on television. Shut up.
It's all right.
It's the best show on television, dude. Out here,
Brandon
nothing else
Zylstra, by the way, signed with the Detroit Lions to the
Patrick
practice
squad,
squad, and anything else. That was it. Let's go to the ice up picks. Fine, bring him in here.
Do we want to do
Cody
ice up,
wants
or
to
we
go
want to do regular
home.
picks?
Oh no, we do need to do the real picks real quick. Who are we playing? Who are we
Who are we playing?
Who are we playing? We're playing the 49ers. I count it as an L for us. I'm sorry.
49ers by route.
Yeah. I mean, I want to pick the other way and so many, but there's no possible. It's just luck. Okay. Who are the Falcons playing?
I don't know. CK, I'll let you look this up.
God. Where is Greg at? Oh.
Yeah, right.
Week 5 NFL schedule. All right. I tell you, the Saints and the Seahawks.
All right. Where is it at? At home or for the Saints or on the road?
At New Orleans.
Oh yeah, I'm going Saints.
I'm gonna go Seahawks.
I am going Seahawks.
Wow. What dummies.
And it's actually
they're putting up numbers.
Did you know that Geno Smith has the best passer rating or completion percentage through the first 4 games in NFL history? At 77 or 78%.
You sure you don't want to take the Seahawks?
No, fuck no.
And then we have the Falcons at the
So
Buccaneers.
you rather go with the division rival? Bucks.
Falcons at Bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the
Bucks. Is that a hard? Yeah, I'm going Bucks as well. And then we have the 49ers at Panthers. I think all of us are probably in agreement here.
So
49ers.
the only game I can make up on is the Saints at Seahawks, or vice versa. Seahawks at Saints.
How did you guys do last week?
Ooh, I lost on the Panthers. I thought they would win.
Mm-hmm.
Who else played?
It was the Falcons and the Browns.
I caught an L on that.
I called the Browns.
Me too.
I did too.
But I won the Chiefs at Bucks.
You got that one. And then what about the
I don't know if I had to pick for New Orleans, Minnesota.
I picked Minnesota.
Ooh. I think
so.
I
went.
Too.
I had
Ooh,
I had the Bucks and I had the Bucks losing, and I had the Saints losing. And I got those, but I also had the Panthers winning, and I had the Falcons losing, and so I went 2 for 2 last week.
I feel like we need to go back. Everybody's told us that not Bucks, so that Minnesota Saints game or whatever, that London game was incredible.
Yeah, it was good. It was
go back and watch it.
It was it went down to the wire. It was Will Lutz got a double doink for a game tying field goal at the end, 61 yards. It barely eighth advantage to the right. It would have gone in the upright.
You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. We are the longest running, longest suffering podcast, is how I'm going to self-describe us, until we get a damn coach and a quarterback that can give us some hope. We got one last long running segment, and that is the ice up segment of the week, where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up, get it together. Cody Lashney.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Did that just freeze up real bad for y'all?
Mm-mm.
It must have been just mine. All right. Y'all want me to go first, or y'all have one y'all want to go with?
Nah, you go ahead. You want to get the fuck out of here. I want to keep you up all night.
All right. So look, we from time to time we ice up politicians who need ice up. And rarely does it ever have anything to do with politics. Dude, we don't give a damn if you're Republican or Democrat. I think they're all frauds, if I'm being honest with you. But, we tend to flip back and forth. We normally make fun of Joe Biden a lot. So this time I got to make fun of one of the conservatives, but specifically a very famous conservative. And that's none other than Herschel Walker. Because if you haven't been following this whole thing, dude, this whole thing is actually kind of crazy, right? Her very pro-life, very Christian, proud man. He wants to completely do away with abortion, all this other shit, right? And he is basically running, I believe it's for Senate. I don't know if it's for Senate or Congress, one of them. And the sad part is that even after all this I'm about to explain to you, the man is probably still the likely winner of the race that he's
No,
in.
he's not.
Yeah, if you look at the polling, they say that he's still got a good chance to win.
Wow.
So basically, after all this comes out, his son, who, by the way, is also a right-wing kind of TikToker person, goes on Twitter and says, I know my mom and I would really appreciate if my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making a mockery of us. You're not a family man when you left us to bang a bunch of women, threatened to kill us, and had us move over 6 times in 6 months running from your violence. I don't care about someone who has a bad past and takes accountability, but how dare you lie and act as though you're some moral Christian upright man. You've lived a life of destroying other people's lives. How dare you? Now, what too is that apparently it has since come out that my boy Herschel Walker has paid for abortions before. Like, he has actually done this before. So it's making it sound like, at least from the perspective of his son, that Herschel Walker is a big fat hypocrite. So at least be the man that you claim to be. But I think that's funny. And also Herschel Walker, when you listen to his interviews, dude, they're rough. Like, they are rough, man. Like, that guy may have been a great football player. He even fought in Strikeforce MMA, and he won a bunch, dude. Like, the dude is a physical specimen, but it seems like his integrity and his moral high ground is kind of left wanting. So, to Herschel Walker, ice up, son.
All right. Winner of a national championship for UGA, and probably a victim of CTE. Very much like someone I'm not going to ice up. CK, are you about to ice up Antonio Brown in Dubai?
No.
His giant D, by the way. It's like
of course,
ridiculous.
that's what you want to talk about.
No, I did not want to.
It's like,
why is it blurred? Why is it blurred above his head? And then the tweets afterwards are ridiculous. He is the most
a wild boy.
No, wild boy. I think
he's wild,
he's CTE boy now. Somebody put up a interview of him before the perfect hit. He was just like, "Oh, Ben Roethlisberger's he was saying all the right shit. He looked good. He looked composed. That mug, I don't know. He's fucked up in the head right now, dude.
Are you sure you don't want to talk about his big, long dick?
No.
I feel like that's what you want to talk about.
No.
Hey, man, it's your show. Do what you need to.
All right. You know what? You want to keep up with me then? All right, let me see. Here's my ice up pick. And I was gonna have him as my ice up pick, as it was in Dubai. Actually, on top of that, he went do you know if that Zach Wilson shit is true?
That can't be real.
Okay. I don't think it is either. I can't be.
Well, I mean, you got what I mean. If Antonio Brown's out here doing that shit,
the Antonio Brown shit we know is true. Like that's like the softest thing he's done since that pool. Hey-o. But no. Here's mine. This is weird. Not weird. This is simple and tennis. Saw this. They developed the C-Pod built by a Panamanian-based technological company, Ocean Builders. It's meant to be self-sustaining, eco-restorative home that floats on the waves. It's a home that is going to live on the water. Hey, this is not crazy. They have these a lot. There are a ton of, what do they call, boat houses? Isn't that what it's called?
These float homes.
But they revealed their prototype, and it sank. Sucks. So, if you're gonna put together a boat, I suggest it floats. That's my ice up pick. And one other was, did you hear my what's this Elon Musk joint where he said when I buy Twitter, it's gonna be a precursor. It's just the
X, which is an app for everything.
The everything app. I'm sure it will float like this boat. Those are my ice ups.
All right. So mine's gonna be pretty basic. But I think it should spawn the creation of a new sport. And that is from the shenanigans that took place last night in the Monday Night Football game when a guy ran out on the field with his smoke flare in his hand, and Bobby Wagner fucking laid the boom on this dude. Like, dude's running up, Bobby Wagner straight up just pounced that dude to the ground. Straight, I mean, got to be some helmet to helmet, helmet to skull action that took place. And my thought was, that was so entertaining. I think we should start a new sport of seeing super athletic guys, and you as a running down the field, and you have to try to get to the end zone and not get tackled, and then watch all these skinny guys just get hammered to the ground.
It's called American Gladiators, bro.
Dude, no, American Gladiators was a little bit more soft than that.
I don't know. They made you try to do that basketball thing where you had to run down and put the. Anyway, I didn't mean that.
But anyway, to that guy that clear, I think there should be a new notice that's put out that if you decide to storm the field, you accept all risk involved with the players decimating you with a extremely maybe extreme form factor tackle. Right now, there's a lot of people saying that old boy. That Bobby Wagner might get sued like a motherfucker because of that from that dude. But
sued? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody was talking about Pat McAfee had talked about it. Everybody was commenting on it, and Pat McAfee said, well, how did you know? I mean, how do you know that dude didn't have something else on the other hand? Like, I think Bobby Wagner's a fucking hero.
Stop. Yeah, I agree. And did you also see that the 4-man rush were on Pat McAfee today?
Yeah, or yesterday they were clipped. They showed like a clip of
their
Dan
tweet?
Orlovsky. It was Dan Orlovsky replying to a question of theirs.
How dope is that? These
Yeah, cool,
guy. That's cool. And then the other one I saw was 4-man rush. They know how to push the buttons of the internet. The Cheesecake Factory also responded to them after the Skip Bayless shit or whatever about the giant Cheesecake Factory menu. Anyway, great stuff. It's the C3 Panthers podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we check out the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. My name's Tony Dunn. You can follow me on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. You can email us at carolinacatchronicles@gmail.com. Smash the thumbs up, subscribe, be a friend, Tell a friend. Cody, last thing, where can they find you? Next week, one of our listeners is giving away tickets to another listener. They got to go to YouTube. They got to respond to that post or hit us up on Twitter with the hashtag C3 in that Discord. How can they find you in the meantime?
Yeah, find me on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. Hey, I'm going to give y'all a heads up. Y'all need to look at drafttech.com tomorrow and check out my write-up for the Panthers. We're picking number 2. So I think you might be interested in what I have to say. So check that out. And you already know this Friday at 7 p.m., C3 Friday free-for-all, baby. The cult of free-for-all. We're getting everyone in on the action. It's the show for the Panther fans, by the Panther fans, to come on with their webcam, talk to me, talk to Panther Nation, be a podcaster yourself on the C3 Panthers podcast, and let us know what's really going on, man. And yeah, that's it for your boy.
CK, there's 136 people watching. There's going to be several hundred listening, hopefully, till the end of this. I have a secret surprise. Matt Rhule. I am lining up Matt Rhule interview next Tuesday.
Yep. We're interviewing
Secret.
Matt Rhule,
It's a secret.
Don't tell nobody.
It might be Matt Fool, but you're going to love it. CK,
you should call him Rat Mule, by the way.
Ooh, yeah. Don't worry. He's going to come on the show. It's going to be incredible. We got a secret surprise coming on Tuesday of next week. CK, how can they find you until then?
Well, you can find me on the social medias at Codizzle Allen. And you'll mainly find me here on Saturday night. We're going to do it Saturday this week, as it is clear that I think Thursday night is not ideal for people for the Madden simulation.
Is that what the data is telling us?
Yeah, that it went down to 700 people. The 700 views at this point. So I think that the idea of doing it on a Thursday night is going to be we'll do some more. We'll do some more investigating, some stats and stuff. But right now we're going to do Saturday night. I am going to be at the game on Sunday to see the Panthers take on the 49ers. I'm going to be there with Catman Jr. And if you guys are interested, we're going to be there early, about 11 o'clock, and we're going to be probably hitting up a couple of places. So anybody interested in hanging out or meeting up or whatever, just shoot me a message on the Twitter, and we'll see what's good.
Cody Lashney, take us out of here.
Until next time, C3 Panther Nation, through thin, through thick, no matter what, you already know what we do. Keep pounding.